listeners and readers of AwardsWatch.com. This is the Awards Watch Podcast, episode 273. I'm your executive editor, Ryan McQuade. And joining me today is Josh Parham.
Hello, hello.
And Jay Ledbetter.
Hello.
Oh my God, it's my favorite duo. We are here to not talk about the current state of the Oscar race, which
Did something happen? I didn't hear. Was there news this
it
week?
was okay. I didn't want to do it, but I mean, we might talk about it just here for like 5 minutes.
It's actually pretty awesome that this year they decided that no pre-Oscar interviews were allowed. They just kind of said, we're going to keep it a level playing field. Nobody's allowed to talk to the press, or certainly not. Yeah, go back and look at
everybody. Delete.
They put a freeze
media.
on looking at people's old tweets.
So we are here to do a retrospective episode over the 73rd Academy Awards, the films of 2000, 25 years old. Jay and Josh and myself have done a lot of research for this episode, but obviously I'd be remiss if we didn't just mention real quick the news this past week, which has been absolutely insane. And if you haven't been on Twitter, where have you been the last 72 hours?
It's broken out of Twitter now, though. This is an offline story now.
It's in the zeitgeist of the tweets and comments that actress Carla Sofia Gascon of Emilia Perez has made. It's kind of flipped the whole film Oscar Twitterverse world upside down. The vast of just insults and discrimination of pretty much every group,
bigotry
you could think of.
Yes.
Yeah, bigotry, yes. Yeah, there's a lot probably that you can say. Josh, I'm just gonna kind of kick it over to you weirdly, no prompt. Your reactions to these tweets when they first happened, your sort of reaction, I guess, about how it doesn't make any sense how, if these, I mean, obviously are been out there for years, it looks like Josh, what have you made about all this?
It's crazy. It really is. And like I'm just sort of struck with multiple things at once. I'm surprised that these were here for so long. Surprised that Netflix did not hire somebody to scrub the social media. Like that just seems like a giant mistake. I cannot believe that they've made. And the fact that Carla just continues to go out there and keep talking and making the situation even worse. And for an Oscar season that has already felt very weird and fluid and you can't quite nail things down, this has just opened it up even more. And I think, we are still in the very early stages of this. We don't know how much this is going to ripple out into the entire season and the entire campaign for this movie, but there's no denying that it's having some effect. Like at the very least, we know that Best Actress has eliminated one competitor from taking that award. But every time Gascon goes out there, she's credited as the star of the movie, and the more she keeps talking, the more she's going to taint the whole film around her. And that is kind of an unprecedented situation that we find ourselves in. So it will be interesting to see where this whole thing goes. I don't know how far it'll go necessarily, but it's wild to experience.
Jay, your reaction to all this?
Here is how Nickel Boys can still win Best Picture.
Oh my God.
All right. If every single other movie does something like this,
train.
No, I mean it's absolutely insane. The lack of control from Netflix's perspective is crazy. I mean they are cursed. They will never win a Best Picture Oscar. It's official. The monkey's paw continues to speak. But it is. I mean it's mostly just disappointing because what a seems to be just a bad person. Like I mean it's just awful even seeing that stuff on your timeline. And look, there's enough vitriol being thrown around as it is. And so you hate to see it now attached to this movie that is, in theory, progressive in some way. And there's also an argument that maybe something like this is almost representative of the faux progressivism of the movie itself. But that's a conversation for another day. The one thing I will say is I can pretty much guarantee that it will not win Best Picture. That is I'm stamping it.
Oh boy.
It's not going to win.
Oh boy.
So there you go.
Oh, dealing in absolutes is always a terrible
Absolutely. Yeah.
thing.
Like a Sith.
Jay has been on the whole for 6 months Nora thing. Just kind of,
and I'm sticking to it.
He's
not sure if I believe it anymore, but I'm attaching my name to it.
At this point, why not stick with it?
I mean, right now it's kind of it seems like there's only, I mean, to Jay's point, it feels like there are only 9 films out of 10 that can win. Everybody got a little bit of increase.
How many do you think can actually win?
3 now.
Do you actually think Amelia Perez is just like done?
Yes. Well, I
wouldn't say done, but significantly reduced its chances. I
think if it won right now with all this controversy, I do not think that they can survive this. And then you're also having to not just factor in everything that Carla said, everything she's tweeted, the continuance over the last 3 days of her non-apology apologies. But then you also have what's been kind of swept under the rug as Jacques Audiard's comments about Mexico and the Spanish language and
yeah, to a certain extent, he should be kind of thankful.
Yeah. And how if you just kind of add those up, it's a cocktail of just terrible politics and optics and everything in between. For me personally, I do think it's done. I think that the only
Stamping
thing, I do. I think that really the only things it could possibly win, just because these two things kind of with these categories, they're sort of separated, is Saldana in supporting actress, who I think that she could mount a solo campaign. There's enough of still passion for that movie where there could just be like, we're not going to vote anywhere else for it, but we're just going to vote for her because she can be representative of the passion for that. And it's not her fault that Audiard or Gascon has made these comments, and song, because that category is not strong at all this year, though it does open the door if Netflix wants to pivot to finally Diane Warren winning an Oscar. They could just go with Elton John and Brandi Carlile, which Elton John's a favorite within the branch and within the
movie's
Academy.
called Elton John. Honestly, I think if there's a spoiler, it's that movie.
It's probably that one. Yeah, no, for sure. Because they can just say, "Oh, I can give it to Elton John." Whoo!
Yeah,
get out of here.
I didn't know that movie existed until just now when I was looking at
it.
The
Doesn't
nominees.
really exist.
It doesn't really exist.
Also,
it's more like a documentary TV show on
yeah,
Disney
and the
Plus.
song is also completely forgettable. I watched the movie just to listen to the song, and then like an hour later, I had already forgotten what it sounded like.
Yeah, but it would be nice just for Brandi Carlile to have an Oscar. That would be really cool. That's just me personally, but I get it.
I don't really care about that category. It's
no, but I'm just saying those are the only viable places that it can win. I think what she said and has barely apologized
continuing
for,
to say,
and kind of continuing to say, really, is terrible, awful, disgusting behavior. And again, I go back to shifting the blame, not taking responsibility. These are patterns of a narcissist. It's patterns of what Josh was saying before this, of somebody who's in political office right now. And this refusal to want to apologize, this refusal to actually find compassion, which is the opposite of the message of that movie. Even if you don't like that movie, that's what that movie is trying to present to an audience. So it does shake things up. Josh, I think, has switched over to Conclave, Jason and Nora Camp. I don't know where to pick it right now. I think that this has truly been the wildest race so far. I mean, obviously, with everything going on with the fires and the delays of a lot of these ceremonies, Critics' Choice is next week, the DGA is next week, PGA is next week. The SAG will be in a couple weeks, and BAFTA will be, will be there, and will be opened up by the time SAG even happens. The Oscar voting will be open soon. I think this is going to have a massive effect. I agree with you, Josh. I don't see a world where she wins, and I can see a world going forward where for PR sake and for just the lack of distraction. If she is not invited to these award ceremonies or disinvited, that could open up a new can of drama. I think also we can say that they're going to probably have to change the format of the
Yeah.
Oscars themselves. There's no way you can do the past winners thing again this year, because I don't know of a past Best Actress nominee that's going to want to go up there and speak about Carlos Sofia Gascon at this point, unless she's not there, which could then open up another can of worms and maybe even sympathy towards the film. Uh, that's probably the only way maybe that thing can still win Best Picture. But even still, I mean, the Hollywood Reporter reported today there's a lot of voters that are already like, I'm not voting for this in any categories. And when you start hearing that, and other voters feel like, okay, well then I don't have to do it because those guys are doing it, it starts building and building
Yeah.
and building for
It's
itself.
still, but that is still anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, I
We
know.
don't know how many people do actually feel that way, but there is no denying that this news cycle has not been great for the movie.
Nope.
Like you just have to admit that, and there probably will be some consequences for it, but we don't know. And in fact, I was talking about this with a group of people earlier that there's probably even going to be a slight lagging indicator because like PGA just stopped voting. Like it was sort of at the tail end of their voting period was when all this stuff came up. So there's a world that Emilia Perez could still win PGA, even outside of this controversy because maybe it didn't catch up to them in time when they were voting. So it's
The
a
same goes
weird
for
moment
Critics'
right
Choice
now.
too, Josh, because
Well,
they're
yeah,
voting.
well,
I mean, their voting was done a while back, and
yeah.
I'm not saying that CCA matters. I'm just saying they have a telecast on E next week. That's a chance for people to have speeches. Everyone's talked about the Golden Globes mattering as well too. Like if Saldana or that film won cast or whatever the case may be, if Amelia did somehow win CCA, you know, that again, those votes were done way after, and I'm not saying that anything would be done behind the scenes for either one of those, but if they organically just happened in those wins, it could be a very awkward moment for everybody in those rooms that are
Yeah.
there, if this movie continues to win. So you're right, there will be probably a lingering effect. We'll have to see how it plays out. Um, I just thought last night was crazy with all the stuff going on in the NBA, let alone what's going on in the Oscars, but they're their own sporting event within themselves. We will be monitoring that. We'll talk about that over the next couple of weeks. The PGAs and like Josh said, and the DGA, and as well as CCA will be next weekend. I know Eric will be there at
Well, this
CCA
upcoming weekend.
or
Yeah.
this upcoming weekend. Yes.
Yeah.
So next week's show we'll probably have an update and we'll see where all this lies.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of uncertainty, but a lot of shifty campaigning going on during this dead period, and so it'll be very
Yeah,
interesting.
I know even those awards may not give us the full picture of
No,
what is really going on in the season just because of the timing of things.
yeah. Well, we do have winners to discuss. We're going back in time. Got to go back in time. That's what we're here to do today because we didn't really want to talk about Companion, right? Did you guys see Companion this weekend,
I did. Yeah.
Josh?
I have not.
That's fine.
It's
That's fine.
it's okay.
Yeah, it's
There's
what
some
it.
good things in it, but the thing about that movie is you can have fun as long as you understand that every character is so fundamentally stupid
Mm,
that this is the only way that this plot can work.
okay. All right. Okay. Well, see, we did a review of it.
One of those
That was
classic,
Yeah.
why did that happen? Because if
Yeah.
it didn't, there wouldn't be a movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're here to talk about the 73rd Academy Awards back in 2000. Josh, where were you at well, I guess the ceremony was in 2001. Josh, where were you at in 2000, 2001?
I was 10 years old in 2000, and I actually do look at this year as kind of pivotal for me, if only because I do kind of feel like this is the first year when I did start to develop a little bit more of a curiosity of movies in terms of kind of like an art form. Because before, when you're younger, I think movies are always just there's the thing that you see and you mostly like it because you're a child and you don't know any better. Like every movie you see is great and it's just fun entertainment. And I think 2000 is when I started to kind of go on the turning point of maybe there is a little bit more to dissect here. Not fully, but like I remember the year when I started to see like more quote unquote mature movies in theaters. Like I saw Castaway in theaters. I saw Crouching Tiger in theaters. You know, I can't believe that my parents took a 10-year-old to see a foreign language film in the movie theater. You know, it's sort of crazy. I remember seeing Space Cowboys, my first Clint Eastwood movie, at 10 years old in the movie theater. So like I said, it was a mixture of obviously some still kiddie stuff that I was watching too, but this was when I started to finally kind of realize, oh, there's sort of more to cinema than just, you know, broad entertainment that I was watching before. And I do kind of look at this year as kind of important to put me down on that path.
J-Dog,
Yeah.
what were the movies your parents were letting you watch during this time? Because I know for a fact that they had a little bit of a strict rules. We've talked about that before,
Yeah, they
right?
did for
So,
sure. I mean, I was just looking at the list, and also I there's plenty of prep I had to do because this stuff really to me at age 9, which is what I would have been in 2000, was
yeah, buddy.
foreign to me. Obviously, me and my parents went to see Requiem for a Dream in the theater together. But
course,
outside of that,
Just like a Sunday afternoon sort of
yeah,
matinee
yeah,
after
yeah,
church
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. No, I mean, for me, if you had asked me in 2001, looking back on the year, what was the best movie of 2000, I would have been like, Remember the Titans. Duh.
Duh.
I mean, what else even came out that year?
We'll talk about it today. We'll talk about
But
it
it
later.
was, I mean, it was like, yeah, I saw The Grinch and Emperor's New Groove, and I begged my parents to let me see X-Men, and they wouldn't let me.
Oh
And
man, Jay, I would have let you see it. I would have let you see it.
and
buddy.
then, we took the whole family to see Yee Yee, and that was kind of the year.
Did you really? No,
No.
I know you're full of shit. I saw most of these films in the theater. I saw Gladiator, even though I shouldn't have. I saw Erin Brockovich, Crouching Tiger. I saw Chocolat, and I saw Almost Famous, which was my dad took me to that one, and I remember seeing Castaway, and this was before.
First of all, we need to talk about the pronunciation of that movie. Cast Away.
Yeah, Castaway.
No, Cast Away.
You want me to
It's
divide it
two
up?
words.
You really want me to divide it up like that?
You are pronouncing it as one word. It is
Cast
two
away.
words.
Cast away.
Cast Away. Everyone calls
Yeah.
it Cast Away, as do
So-
I.
so
but
you want me to
it's
do it
technically
like that?
Cast Away.
You mean
Cast
like-
Away.
So what are you arguing for then? You even do it yourself.
I know, but I'm just saying I do it wrong. I do it wrong, and I think we need to correct the record.
You mean like how people this year have going Amelia Perez when it's Amelia Perez? Just
No, I think it's the other way, isn't it?
what?
Everyone
Isn't
says
the
Perez
accent
and
over
it's
the first
Perez.
E?
Yeah,
It's Paris?
it's Perez.
No.
Yeah, because the accent's over the first E.
Yeah,
Oh god damn. it.
100%. Yeah.
That's
That's the
I
correct
mean,
way
I'm
to
sorry,
say it.
Ryan, to explain Spanish to you.
Yeah,
but-
I'm sorry, guys. You know what I mean?
And it's
Like,
Saldana.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that one's more annoying because
Yeah.
there's no reason to be getting
No,
that
the
wrong.
most annoying one this year is Brady Corbet. Like, come on. No one's called him that ever. You know what I mean? It's been Corbett.
Well, didn't he
for
say
years.
that's how he pronounces his name?
I know that's how he says it, but like no one's heard that. He's been in the industry for like 20 years, Josh. It's annoying.
Well, that's
On
because
the-
he's
on
been
the
like a
Thunderbirds
character
press
actor
tour.
that had no profile. Like nobody bothered to know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, anyway.
All right,
Cast
Ryan
away.
McQuade.
Thank you.
I will say, however
Cast
people
away.
want their names pronounced, I will pronounce their names that way. It's rude if you don't do it the way they ask you to.
Yeah,
Tom
this is a white
Hanks.
guy saying it, Ryan. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I didn't know Josh would side with Jay on something. This is wild.
Yeah, this is
wild.
I
Happens
did
every
that,
once in a while.
that's the first stray I have caught in this podcast. First of many.
But anyway, when I saw that film, because we didn't have assigned seating because now every movie you can pick your seat. My dad had to sit in like the front row, and I sat all the way in the back next to a bunch of strangers because there's no seats next to each other. And it was such a wild experience to like be in a theater with someone, but like be like that far away. And yet this is a movie about like literally being that far away. You know what I mean? And it was such a wild experience. I'll never forget that. But yeah, I remember seeing a lot of these. It's a very interesting year in film. It's very transitional from the 90s to, whatever this year is. There's some movies I really love. There's some movies in terms of the Oscar year that are very good. It still feels weird that Gladiator's the winner here. And Jay
Does
and I
it?
have, yeah, it does feel kind of weird. It's like a movie comes out in like what, May, and uh Ridley Scott doesn't win director, and Crow announcing himself as the movie star of the like 5 year stretch of his career, right? And culminating in this win. Yeah, is
I don't know. That
a little
feels like an
weird.
Oscar winner to me.
Yeah, I guess so. But usually like movies like this would come out in the fall, right? And nowadays, and I don't know, Riddler
Sure.
hasn't been that close ever since. It feels like, but this is why everybody puts him. This year is the reason, right? Right, Josh? Why everybody
Mhm.
puts Ridley Scott in their kind of
It's
best
gotta
picture
happen.
predictions,
Gotta
because
happen
it
at
happened
some
one
point.
time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
Also, the movie that made sure that he would be a producer on every single movie he directed
Yeah,
from
that's
then
exactly
on.
right.
absolutely stupid that he wasn't, like, just
Yeah.
just a glaring
He
oversight.
had the clout.
He's Ridley Scott. You know what I mean?
I don't know how that happened. Yeah, that's wild.
Luckily, Soderbergh got the win, because he's not a producer on either of his films either. So yeah, moral of the story is,
Also,
folks out there, be a producer on your film. Just do that.
yeah.
At bare
Um,
minimum, yeah.
bare minimum. Come on,
I'll say this just in general, because I'm not sure how much we're going to get to talk about it other than a couple movies. What a year for Asian cinema. Oh my
yeah,
God.
very great year.
This was massive. And we discussed whether or not In the Mood for Love was eligible. We decided it is not. Uh,
No,
it will be eligible for the
we'll talk about it next
2001
year.
awards. But I mean, if you include that, like forget about it. But you got like Battle Royale, Yee Yee. If you extend it to Mission Impossible 2, John Woo obviously kind of breaking into the real mainstream there. Crouching Tiger, absolutely massive.
Massive.
Um, Park Chan-wook basically has his breakthrough movie this year as well with what was it called? Joint Security Area.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge year, which is really cool. So
Very, very cool. Very cool indeed. Josh, is there a below the line category you wanted to talk about in tradition before we start heading into our top 8 categories and doing the shoulda coulda woulda game?
The only one that I had thought of really to talk about was actually just best costume design, because I actually think this is a really strong category. And like I really do like Gladiator, 102 Dalmatians, Crouching Tiger, like even How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Like I think the crafts in that are very vibrant and memorable. So I love all that. And honestly, if you took out Quills and replaced it with The Cell, it would have been a
Mm.
perfect category, because I think The Cell has incredible costumes in that film. It's a gorgeous movie to begin with. So, but I really, really do love the costume design in that film, and I think it should have been included here. And if it had, as I said, I think it would have been a very perfect lineup.
Jay, you're a big Grinch guy.
I will say it is, if you look at like stills of that movie, you're probably like, whoa,
They put
look at that
so much
vision.
effort. They
Like,
put
I mean,
so much
there's
effort into that movie. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
and then you watch the movie and it's like this is an absolute piece of abject garbage. But I
Although
mean,
I have to say, at 10 years old, it probably was my favorite movie that came out that year, and I thought Jim Carrey was delivering a like masterclass performance. It was like the greatest thing I'd ever
yeah,
witnessed an actor do.
Jay's a little agnostic when it comes to Jim Carrey.
no, I'm averse. Like I have a Jim Carrey allergy most
Oh,
of the
that's
time
right.
when he's
Yeah.
doing his Jim Carrey thing.
Which is
But
kind of what he's doing in that movie. But he's
that
kind of,
movie,
but
I
he's
think
kind of
he's
has,
terrible in
he
that
kind
movie.
of has to do that. Well, who could have done that role?
I
Probably
don't
you
know.
shouldn't do that role.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh my God. Wow. I am the Grinch.
I'm sorry, clips will show up online every now and then, and I still laugh. I'm sorry. I'm
He's
still immature when it
no,
comes
I
to that
mean,
movie,
like,
I guess.
It's my sister-in-law's favorite Christmas movie, and we have a
her
argument every
favorite,
year. Yeah,
like, of all of them,
yeah,
like all of them.
yeah. Honestly, there aren't that many good Christmas movies.
Yeah, but like, you could just say Elf, or like,
Yeah, that's the
I mean,
obvious kind of
the number one is
millennial
It's a
answer.
Wonderful Life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The best one is The Line in Winter. That's the best Christmas movie.
Oh, that's good. That's a good
I
answer.
watch it every Christmas, every
That's a
year.
good one. Do you guys have like a trash Christmas movie you guys watch every year?
Oh yeah, Christmas Chronicles, bro.
Oh, that's right. Jade's a
I
big
mean, I don't
Christmas
have
movie.
like trash Christmas movies. I just have movies that I watch every year, because like I do that. I do Scrooged. That's my
Oh,
Christmas Eve
Scrooge is, yeah.
tradition. every year, and then sometimes I might throw in Batman Returns as like
Oh,
the
yeah.
alternative Christmas movie.
I'm gonna go hang out with Josh on Christmas. That sounds like a good
Nah,
lineup.
Those are
Christmas
my
Chronicles,
traditions every
dude.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
Hot Santa.
I would. I like the makeup lineup. I do think Shadow of a Vampire and The Cell are really great makeup. I know with the Grinch, that makeup is was hellish. But Rick Baker, man, just the
Yeah.
goat. And
Oscar number
again,
6, I think that
yeah,
was
like
for
number
him.
6 for him.
Yeah.
The makeup is impressive. Like
It's
again,
insane.
I think everything about that movie except
These are the only compliments you're going to get out of me. I just watched this recently, and I don't think the movie
like the
story
Who's look
wise,
like Who's. They look
yeah,
terrifying.
yeah.
But
The movie honestly feel like they marketed it almost was like a horror movie, and now they actually have a Grinch horror movie out there. But I do think that just from like you're mentioning production design, costumes,
The
the
craft, I think, is very good in that film.
the cinematography just god awful. The movie's just
But it
ugly
is in
looking.
line with like the tone of that film. Like, yeah, it
Yeah,
looks garish, but it's a garish movie.
yeah, that's fair.
to be fair, I haven't watched that movie in a while.
You should
I
put it
owe
on
it
right
another
now.
watch. I might love it now.
Yeah, I think
I doubt it,
Might
but
be
you
my
know.
new
Put it on,
favorite.
put it on for
It's
the
probably
kid.
been like 5 years since I watched it.
Put it on for the kid later this year.
Yeah.
Might terrify him though.
Maybe we will. I don't know.
But yeah, I would say, that makeup is totally worth it. And I will say that I am glad that in cinematography they did not nominate Traffic. Because
Yellow.
man, the color yellow. We went from the Grinch
What if
and green to
yellow?
what if yellow was the only color we had.
Did you know that yellow is supposed to be Mexico?
Josh, I
Oh,
didn't
wait, is that why
know.
they did that?
It's really weird that like
Oh my
Jock
God, I never
Odiar
put that
didn't just
together.
use that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
it's kind of makes you think.
In that regard, Traffic is one of the most influential movies of the last
It
25
really
years.
is. It really is.
And I do like Traffic, by the way. Like, I actually do think that it is a very, very good movie.
Yeah, it's just a shame that it comes out in the same year where Soderbergh, I think, makes a.
I really like 2/3 of Traffic.
Yeah. You don't like the ending, like me, Jay?
No, I just don't like anything involving the kids. I think is some of the worst stuff that Steven Soderbergh has put to screen.
Ooh,
I think it's so bad.
well, we'll talk about it.
But
Jay,
we'll talk
was
about
there
it.
a below the line category you wanted to highlight? Maybe talk about here, buddy.
Yeah, for me, it's visual effects because the effects in Gladiator are terrible. They look so bad. And the
Well,
effects
they are dated. They are.
but the effects for Hollow
They
Man
used
were
the same ones for the
revolutionary
sequel.
and hold up. And I understand why Gladiator won is because it's Gladiator and not some trashy
Paul
Paul
Verhoeven.
Verhoeven movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But the Hollow Man effects are amazing.
I would vote for Hollow Man, yes, if
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
in that
I would
group.
vote for Hollow Man. Perfect Storm. That Storm looked pretty perfect.
It's
to
pretty
me.
good. I
Yeah.
mean, anytime they go out to like the really wide shots of ancient Rome, it looks so bad in
Why was
Gladiator.
it? What? Josh, was at the time where there were only 3 nominees for this category? Is that why, or
Yeah, they did not expand to 5 until 2010.
that's what I figured? Which is dumb.
Yeah, it's
Just
dumb.
When they go to 3, just either be 5 or 10. Don't be something in the
Yeah. Because in makeup, that was another one that only had 3, and
Yeah.
that they didn't expand until like 2019. It was pretty late for them.
I mean, sound editing this year, there's only 2.
Yeah,
How do you do that?
I can only imagine that's one of the things where maybe like how they used to do it with song, where you had to get a certain threshold of something, and I don't know.
There's not enough films that year that were editing their sound.
I don't know. It's very, very weird because usually that was a category that for a while did have 3 nominees, and they just stuck with that. So I don't know why there's only 2 here.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's weird. Anyway, this also had Timothy Chalamet won an Oscar. Bob Dylan won one.
Yep.
Things have changed.
Bobby D.
Bobby D.
Which means that if Chalamet does win for A Complete Unknown, he will become the second person to win an Oscar for playing an Oscar winner.
There you go.
That's interesting. Who's the first?
Kate Blanchett for The
okay.
Aviator.
Yeah, she played Katharine Hepburn. Come on, Jay, you should know this stuff.
I'm sorry.
You think you know somebody. You think you work with somebody, right, Josh?
I know. It's amazing.
All right. Are you guys ready to play the game?
Yeah.
The game
Let's do it.
that you guys have all prepared for. This is the Awards Watch Shoulda Coulda Woulda Game. Per the rules, if you have not listened to this kind of retrospective like we did last year, what we do is we replace up to 2 in the top 8 categories, except for Best Picture. We can replace up to 3. Once we replace those films with other films that were eligible from that year, we can then either keep the winner, or unless if we got rid of the winner, then we put our own winner on there. Per last year, towards the end of the year, we have come up with one, and only one time this year, a bomb category. An official Oppenheimer.
You can Oppenheimer
category.
it. Yeah.
Yes. That's why I like to call it the Oppie, where if the category is literally
a very
that
sensitive
bad,
title for that. Yeah.
If the category is terrible, then we get rid of the entire lot and we replace it with 5. Now,
I'll say this: we are not going to have that today.
We're not going to have that today.
No,
I do not think that is today, though. I can only bet what we will use that later this year on. I've already taken a look at some of them that we'll probably do, and there'll be debates amongst the people that
I think we're going to have a couple categories, but we don't even get rid of 2.
Oh, you think so?
That's my guess. We'll see.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, let's get into it. Let's do adapted screenplay. Jay, you want to read the nominees for me, please?
Yeah. We got Traffic, Chocolat, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Wonder Boys. And the winner was Traffic.
Jay, you finally saw Chocolat, correct?
I did. Yeah. Horny Chocolate.
Did you like it?
I'm going to be honest. I was charmed as hell.
I told you.
I liked it.
Delightful.
I liked it. I had a really good time with it. Great actors. I don't know. I truly.
It had your guy.
I went into it. I was like, this is going to be stupid. Like, what is this about? Like a town. It's like Footloose, but with chocolate. Like, this sounds so stupid. And then I watched it and I was like, wow, who knew? Juliette Binoche can do it all. She can even make me like Chocolat. I really liked it.
Jay, it had your guy in it, Johnny Depp.
Johnny D. Yeah.
Sorry.
We really need to find a new angle for my persona on.
But you just play into it so well. Like
you play into it so well, Jay.
I know. Yes, my man Johnny D.
Yes, exactly. Josh, what do you think of this category?
It's fine. I like most of them, but a lot of stuff here that I'm not like attached to. Like I do kind of feel like Chocolat is just as a movie in general just has the fingerprints of Weinstein forcing his way into this award season. I know that's not the greatest choice of words, especially with him, but it just every time I see this movie here, it just feels like him forcibly inviting himself into this party. So
he's dipping his toe in the chocolate. There's no doubt about it.
And I don't know what he's going to do with it afterwards.
All right. You're both bringing it at the worst out of each other here. I don't want to hear that. Okay. Is there a movie here you want to get rid of, or movies you want to get rid of? And do you have replacements?
I only really have one replacement. So, and for me, in terms of what to get rid of, like I would get rid of Chocolat, but I don't know if Jay is now going to be the big defender of it. And
I'm good with getting rid of Chocolat here. I don't have a ton of replacements either. I'm good with getting rid of Chocolat. If there was a second one I would get rid of, it would be Traffic. Because of what I mentioned earlier. I think there are parts of it that are just like objectively bad, at least in my opinion, which would make it not objective. That would make it subjectively bad. But I think I do have a very kind of culturally important replacement that we can talk about. But if we want to get rid of Chocolat, I'm good with that.
I would actually get rid of Traffic before Chocolat. I do like Chocolat. Sorry, I'm that other guy out there that likes it a lot. I don't know. Everybody always shits all over this movie, and it's like it's a pretty charming movie. Like there's nothing wrong. It's
very charming. I enjoyed it a lot. My wife really had a good time with it.
I mean, movie can be charming and good, but does that mean it should get
exactly? It's not.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I agree with you there, Josh.
It's not the script that makes that movie charming and successful.
No, it's the performances. But I don't think like some people call it like one of the worst films to be nominated, for Best Picture
No,
or
I
whatever
don't
over the
think
like
that.
in the era in this decade. And I'm like, no, this is like honestly, this is like pales in comparison to even something like Traffic, which I don't think Traffic is a movie that should have been nominated. Like
Yeah, we've
it's
talked
Well,
about
I'm
Traffic.
going to disagree with you
I
there. I do
know.
really like that movie, so
But like I don't think that there's like anything aggressively like I gotta get rid of here. But if you want to get rid of Chocolat, I can do that. That's fine.
All right,
I'm
let's do
okay
that.
with that. Okay, so we'll get rid of Chocolat for now. Let's see if we all have the same film uh and that we're gonna mention here, and maybe then we can come back to replacing another one. Josh, what is the film that you would like to nominate up here for the committee?
for me it was Requiem for a Dream.
Okay. Jay?
Mine was American Psycho.
Oh,
Mm,
very nice. Mine was American Psycho as well. But Josh,
I didn't even know Requiem for a Dream was adapted.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it is. Did you not
Interesting.
know that? Jay, you
I did not.
thoughts on Requiem?
I haven't watched it in a while, and honestly, it's been kind of tainted by my
Your disdain for
dissatisfaction with some of Aronofsky's later work. But I do remember it just being just consumed by its own style at the expense of its humanity a little bit. But I do think there's a lot
Sounds
of
like an Aronofsky movie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, it wouldn't quite be up there because it doesn't have American Psycho is like super stylish and very dark and everything that Requiem for a Dream is, but it's a satire, right? So
Well, it's
it,
also very writerly. There's pages of
yes,
monologues in that movie too, so you
for
can
sure.
really pull out the writing of it. I agree. Like I do like both of those, but I can understand the argument for American Psycho just because not only of its cultural impact, but yeah, because there are just so many instances of
It's
people
very written.
speaking. Yes, it
Yes.
is a very written screenplay.
Yes. I just no offense, Josh. Requiem is a movie I saw one time, and I think I'm good. Like I don't know if I want to go through that
I understand.
exercise. Like
Yeah.
it's a rough exercise for it was rough when I saw it 10, 15 years ago. It was
I'm probably
rough.
going to do an Aronofsky rewatch before his next movie.
Oh, before the
I'm
Austin
going to
Butler
skip The
thing?
Whale, but I'll watch the other ones.
Fair. Fair if you want to skip that one. But I do get I mean I understand the importance of that film. I wouldn't necessarily nominate it myself, but I mean if we do want to replace Traffic and put it in there, you know, I
No,
would agree
I
with
don't
it.
want to.
No.
So,
No.
no.
We can keep Traffic. A
I
lot
am
of
your
Traffic is
roadblock with
really well written. Like the best stuff
yeah.
in Traffic is better than the best stuff in Requiem for a Dream and probably American Psycho too.
I do love American Psycho. And it's one of those where I don't
Bret Easton Ellis, one of the worst guys,
yeah.
just
Yeah,
like the
awful.
worst.
Please do not remake that movie though. I don't really want to see the remake. That Luca's that was rumored for Luca, I guess, because I think the film does a really great job, and I think Bale's really great as well too. Okay, so are we American Psycho? Is that the
I'm
consensus?
good
Josh, are
with
you at
that.
peace with
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Josh,
good
you
with
agree
that. Yeah.
Okay, so Traffic, American Psycho, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Oh Brother with Arthur, and Wonder Boys. Jay.
Which, by the way, can we just
Oh,
say it's still weird that Oh Brother is considered an adapted screenplay? Like, I understand what they say, but like that, it's weird to qualify that as
it'll be
adapted.
really interesting to see how Christopher Nolan takes this movie and
I mean, it is a movie that or at least my experience was one of the first things that my teacher talked about while reading the Odyssey was, and also this movie is sort of a reinterpretation of the Odyssey.
Jay
And then
was
you're
like,
like, oh.
huh?
And then we watched it in class. Yeah. So in my
Wait, you
mind,
got
because of that, it does like that connection is,
I mean, the same for us too, but you watch the movie and it's like, I mean, yeah,
I mean, he
but
gets his
also
eye
no.
cut out. Yeah. Like, oh, he's a Cyclops now. I get it.
Yeah, like there's the sirens. Like I get it, but I still think it's a little bit of a stretch to call it an adapted screenplay.
It's a it is silly.
I think it's just more inspired by the Odyssey
Yeah, I
rather
get
than
Sure.
it.
actually being
Yeah.
adapted. But it little gray area. I
But I mean, the
get.
same thing with like Barbie, right? Like, there's nothing about Barbie that's adapted, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just based off of.
Oh God, we're gonna relitigate the whole Barbie
I'm
original
not
Yeah.
versus
doing that
adapted
Let's
today.
just go down the
2015
line.
We're
again.
not doing this today. Jay, who are you giving the win to?
All of that said, I'm giving it to the film "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Uh, because you can make an argument about adapted or original or what have you, but I think this is the most creative original screenplay of this bunch, which is weird because it's adapted. But I just think that is such a clever piece of writing that I think has a lot more depth than some people like to give it credit for because it is so fun. But it does have that Cohen wit and thematic heft to it that I really appreciate. So that's my winner.
Josh.
I love the Coens, but Oh Brother is a movie that I just have never really had the great desire to revisit throughout the years. I don't know why. Like I said, I do love their filmography, but that is just one that, for whatever reason, I'm not attached to. So I am gonna vote actually for Crouching Tiger.
Jay showing us his "Oh Brother with Art Thou" poster as Josh was talking
Yep.
there was some camera work inspired by Nickel Boys there, just moving all over the place.
Yes.
Um, I agree with Josh. I would go with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Um, just an incredibly written story, and I think about that. I just think of like the vastness of that tale, and just the different perspective, and being based off of this novel too, and really making it for an adaptation of that movie and for it to be so successful, to be as accessible of a film too, in terms of just being able to build these rich characters, and I don't know, that movie is beyond just its rich visuals. It's rich on the page as
Yeah,
well
for
too.
sure.
So
I just don't like that stretch where they're in the desert.
Oh, you don't like that part?
Mm-mm.
See, I'm not the
Great
biggest.
movie, but
See, I'm not the biggest like Oh Brother fan in the world.
I know a lot of people consider that lesser Coens for sure, and
I don't think
I
it's
get
lesser. I
it.
think it's like in the middle. I'm not like Josh and probably not gonna revisit it, but like I would be like, oh okay, I'm gonna watch that. And I think the other thing is I do see a lot of what you're talking about, Josh. I do see a lot of like the Odyssey nods, and I do think it is purposeful. And I'm like, oh okay, like I would much more prefer if we just stop winking at the camera there when it comes to that, and we just make a Coen Brothers movie here a little bit. Sometimes the exercise is a little too much for me on that end, but I
There's
like
fun
the
moments in
film.
the movie.
Yeah,
I
it's a
do
lot of
like
fun.
overall enjoy it, but it's just in the wealth of their filmography, I have many other movies that I would return to before I would watch that one
Yeah,
again.
it's like
Just
second tier
personally.
Coens for me, which means it's like 4.5 stars.
And it's better than like most people's films in their filmography.
That
No,
is true.
for sure. But
You know,
I mean,
Crouching Tiger,
I honestly
right?
think that they've only made one bad movie. That is my opinion.
what's that? Gosh.
The Lady Killers.
Lady
Okay,
Killers.
that's fair.
That is
No.
the only bad
Well, no,
movie
I
that they
mean
have
like,
made.
hey,
I
some
don't.
people,
Yeah,
some
Intolerable
people go,
Cruelty is in that
See, I got a soft
around
spot for
there.
that one.
that's
I
an
do.
interesting movie. Like that's a really like I would rewatch that movie.
There's stuff in the Lady Killers that I'm kind of like, whoa, this is
Y-
interesting. And
Yeah.
then
The-
and sometimes it turns from interesting to questionable.
And then it turns
Uh,
to boring.
Yeah, for
Which is
sure.
a
And it makes
really
sense because that is the one movie from them that they did not initially plan to direct. They were just going to write it, and then I think they kind of backed into directing it. So clearly they weren't interested in doing it in the first place, and
it was like
I
a
think it
sleepwalk.
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
All
all right,
right. Congratulations, Crouching Tiger.
Tiger. Original screenplay. Josh, want to kick us off with this?
Yes. So for original screenplay, our nominees were Almost Famous, which was our winner, Billy Elliot, Erin Brockovich, Gladiator, and You Can Count on Me.
Pretty good category.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I would.
Pretty
This is
good.
another one where there's only one movie here that I don't think should be in this lineup, and the rest I'm actually kind of okay with.
Okay. I would take out.
I think I can find two,
I think I can fight two.
even though honestly, I like all of these, but I can think of two that I like more than two on this list.
I would take out Billy Elliot and Gladiator.
I would take out Gladiator, no questions asked, done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I would take out Billy.
I can be talked into taking Billy Elliot out as well.
See, I like Billy Elliot though.
I
do
like Billy
that
Elliot
film.
too, but there are movies
Yeah.
that I like more.
I will also say that the screenplay is not the first thing I would defend about Billy Elliot. There
Yeah,
are other
that's
categories that I would come to bat for it with. So I do think that this one is expendable, but I just do generally like that movie a lot.
Let's see if we can get there. We'll put it, in like
we'll put
yellow.
Yellow. Yeah. Okay. But we got rid of Gladiator because like they even admittedly have said like they make that script on the fly, which is kind of what it feels like for the sequel also too, which is fine. But like
Well, the sequel's
don't
even-
Josh. Don't
even worse.
No, Josh. Sequel's fun.
Junky fun.
Junky fun.
I agree with half that statement.
Damn it. All right. What are we gonna replace it with?
All right, how
There's a bunch of movies.
seriously are we going to take Yi Yi today?
Very, very seriously. It's a great movie.
All right, I just want to make sure that it will be up for all of these because I would put that in here, no questions asked.
Josh, have you seen Yi Yi?
I have to admit I have not. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sure it's great, but
You
I
had
also did not have as much time to
weeks.
prepare for this one as I normally do because we got Oscar stuff. There
I-
was Sundance. It was very, very busy.
that is like a 4-hour movie. You have to.
It is, it is 2 hours and 53 minutes, I believe.
think it's
Yeah.
a little longer than that. I thought.
No,
It's a long.
I watched it for the first time a couple days ago. It is
Incredible.
a masterpiece, like straight up. So
I'm sure it is great, but yeah, I did not have as much time to prepare for this particular episode as I usually do. So I have to admit that one I have not caught up with, unfortunately.
I would love to.
But I'll take your word for it that it's great.
Yeah,
It is definitely
wonderful.
seek it out.
Castaway. I put up there.
I had that too.
I would put Unbreakable up there.
Had that as well.
Hell yeah, I would. Shyamalan.
I think there's an argument for Bamboozled here,
I was gonna say Bamboozled,
Oh,
just from the sheer audacity
yeah.
of that movie.
which is a movie that all three of us once talked about.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Was that the
And-
first time I was on for Director Watch?
The
Well, it
old-
wasn't the old.
That was the
Or
old
whatever
show.
that was.
It might have been.
Yeah, that was the first time I think we all talked together about a movie on a movie series.
Yeah, I think I called that movie a masterpiece. So
and you're
I,
not.
I think
you're
if
not
there
wrong.
is any place to put it, it is this category.
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm very much in favor of that
All right.
coming in here.
One of those movies that had to get moved because it premiered in 2000, but it was released in 2021 was Sexy Beast, so I had to move that off my list.
Yeah.
Earlier. So, but that will be talked about next year.
Wait. So Bamboozled does qualify or does not?
No, yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. So yes, so
I was
Sexy
saying
Beast does not. Yes.
No,
Okay.
Sexy Beast is next year.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'm with you.
that makes it. Yeah, I'm just helping you, buddy. I got
Thanks,
you.
man.
You're welcome. Maybe if you listen to me, you know.
So let's put
this is the problem we
let's
have
put
on Director Watch. all the
let's for now put in Bamboozled for Gladiator and then decide if we want to replace Billy Elliot.
time. I think because not everybody has seen Yi Yi, I think we might have to just push that to the side in this category.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I would
Unbreakable?
take out Billy Elliot for Unbreakable.
I would be okay with that.
Jay,
I'm
you
good
willing
with
to
that.
compromise on that?
Yeah, I'm in.
So we're gonna do Bamboozled and Unbreakable. And-
Bamboozled and Unbreakable. Let's do it.
All right. Almost Famous. Erin Brockovich. You can count on me. And enter Unbreakable and Bamboozled. Truly an insane and stacked.
Pretty killer lineup.
Yeah.
Pretty killer lineup. Got a lot. I can't lie. Because we left. I even think Castaway is like a great script.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Like, what a movie. And it's like,
Passed
I know that
away.
Cast Away.
And also good example of how good writing is not just dialogue. Like it's actual, story and situation and character.
Yeah.
And that really goes into that too.
It's when Bobby Z had the
Structure.
juice.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it anymore. He had two this
No.
year.
Yeah.
what lies beneath.
Which was another one I had thought of. It's
Good
just
flick.
such a fun movie.
Good flick. Jay, you
Yeah.
like What Lies Beneath?
It's okay. It's
No?
pretty junky too. But
I thought
but
you would like
that's
that.
good
A movie
junk,
like that.
though.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good
it's
junk,
mostly
though.
it's mostly fun. It's
Yeah.
Harrison
it has
Ford
an
is
air
hot
of
in that movie, too,
seriousness to
so.
it that I think kind of drags it down a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
is smoking in that movie.
Yeah.
Ford. I dig
Pfeiffer
that.
though.
Oh,
I mean,
Pfeiffer.
the both of them,
Pfeiffer's an important person for you, right, Jay?
Pfeiffer is like Mount Rushmore, man.
I guess you will be watching Batman Returns again on Christmas.
Batman Returns is a formative film for me.
Yeah.
Just let me.
It's a wild movie. Okay, Josh, you got to pick a winner now.
Oh,
This is
man.
tough.
Yeah.
Some
This
tough
is
stuff.
very difficult. Oh, boy. It's between two.
Yeah.
It's between Bamboozled and Erin Brockovich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a devotee of Almost Famous like a lot of other people are.
We'll talk
I
about
understand, even though I know it's probably going to win. So because of that, I actually do think I have to be just true to myself and say Bamboozled.
It's a great. I mean, that's
It's a good call.
That's. I mean, Josh, you know Spike's my guy, so like that's. It's an.
And I feel if
insane
anybody can speak to Bamboozled, it's me.
movie. Well,
Yes.
you are
Such
giving,
kinship with Michael Rappaport in that movie, yeah.
and in real life too. Weirdly enough.
Yes. You're always replying to his tweets, yes, every day.
Yeah, get him on the pod.
No, we will not. We will not be doing that.
He probably would come on if you asked.
Yeah, he's
much
not,
right now.
He's got nothing going on. Jay, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, it's funny that Josh said he thinks Almost Famous is gonna get it kind of by default, but I'm going Kenny Lonergan. I'm going You Can Count on Me in this category.
I
love that
think-
one too.
You're big.
I think that
Lonergan.
script is so nuanced and layered and just nobody writes like Lonergan. He just packs so much into his screenplays, which, in the summary, if you look at the plot synopsis, they seem so incredibly simple, but the emotions involved are so complex. And he's done it in every movie that he's directed. He's got some weird writing credits, but every movie that he has directed that he also wrote.
Yes, he has another movie that came out this year, which is a favorite of mine.
Which one, Josh?
That is the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie.
Yes,
that's
that's
right.
right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. That was this year.
I forgot he wrote that.
Yes, he did. Another movie I saw in theaters and was obsessed with.
That I remember seeing it in theaters too and being.
Yeah,
like,
so
what
since I
is-
can't give it to him for that, I'm gonna by
Yeah.
proxy give it to him for.
Oh, we should have mentioned it for adapted screenplay.
Ooh.
Being a double nominee.
Oh man, would you have kicked out Traffic for it?
No,
Okay.
I'm joking. Like,
I might have.
although I think that movie actually is better than it should be, and I would credit Kenneth Lonergan for that. It's
Robert
a
De
smarter
Niro
movie
is in
than
that movie, correct?
Yes.
Yes, he is, and he actually does a meta taxi driver joke in it.
Okay.
All right. Josh, you picked Bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
That's correct. And Jay picked.
Are we able to have a three-way split?
Yeah, I think we are, guys.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm going Almost Famous. Like I'm gonna keep it with him.
Yeah.
I think that I think that there are other elements of that movie. While I do love that movie, I think there are other elements that aren't as strong as I do think it's a great screenplay. And I think Cameron Crowe, he's knocking it out of the park. I missed Cameron Crowe when he was delivering heaters like this. I really do think like he maybe has one or two left in him, but this and McGuire, he was on top of the world. And this movie is very good. Like really, really
I think that movie's great. I love that
and,
movie.
And that screenplay is what makes it, I think, for me. Now, I will say, Josh, if I had a runner up, it's Bamboozled because Spike's a madman. And that movie, I don't know how anybody gave him the money to make it. Like, it's wild. And it's such a great idea.
It looks dirt cheap. That's why.
Yeah, because he shot it on a Motorola Razor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I mean, like Brockovich again, that is such a that speaks to me and Jay. where it's like that's a movie about the process. And
I mean,
that's
that script is incredible.
It's an incredible screenplay. And yeah,
this is a nice list here.
Lonergan, incredible. Yeah. And then, I mean, we haven't even really talked about it a lot, but like what M. Night's doing in Unbreakable is insane and almost
he's breaking down a genre that at that point was in its infancy. It's kind of crazy what he's doing in that movie.
It's a very ahead of its time film.
The same year that X-Men came out.
Yeah, like that's genre is about to literally kick off and become the dominating force for the next 15 to 20 years in cinema. And this guy is making still one of the best comic book movies and original comic book movies for that matter. And a film that's just as well written and executed as The Sixth Sense that came out literally the year before. So, but yeah, I got to give it to Cameron Crowe. So I don't know what we do in this situation.
What do we have
never had a three-way tie
if we
before.
turn it into now you can pick from, if I'm doing preferential ballot, I'm moving to Bamboozled.
You're moving to Bamboozled? Yeah, I would have Bamboozled as a.
There's nothing like Bamboozled, man.
There's nothing like it. It's an incredible. And if I'm gonna give it to somebody else, I would give it to Spike. And I think Josh's backup would have been Erin Brockovich, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was my number 2.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter because Spike
Lee, Bamboozled.
You just want for Bamboozled. It's an incredibly written screenplay.
Would have been pretty crazy if that won. On the night.
Do you really think they would have nominated him for that?
That wasn't gonna ever happen.
Supporting actor. Benicio del Toro won for Traffic. Jeff Bridges won for The Contender. Willem Dafoe for Shadow of a Vampire. Albert Finney for Erin Brockovich. And Joaquin Phoenix for Gladiator. Jay, I saw that you logged The Contender.
Just trash. Just like, have y'all seen it?
Not in a very, very long time. I barely remember anything from it.
Like a Sorkin.
It is so bad. It is so Sorkin-y. It is in the same way that I think The Apprentice is going to look really embarrassing in 5 years as like this reaction to this election. That was very much like a reaction to the upcoming Bush-Gore election. And it is so bad. I think it is
I haven't seen it in a while. I do think Joan Allen's good in the film.
She's pretty good in it. Bridges does really nothing except he has a really big speech at the end, which is probably what got him the nomination.
The performance I remember the most and being kind of like mixed on was Oldman.
I think he's actually good in it.
It's kind of hammy.
They tried to get him nominated for that, I remember.
Yeah. He's doing a lot, but that's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
So he's got a real hair thing going on.
Yeah.
I would like to, we talked about Unbreakable. I would like to throw out Samuel L. Jackson for Unbreakable.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I don't think we have any qualms kicking out Bridges. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would kick out Bridges.
That's fine.
That movie basically doesn't exist.
Anybody else?
We'll see if we can get there.
There is somebody else that I actually would kick out.
Next on the chopping block for me is probably Joaquin.
And that is who it is.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see if we can get there.
Yeah. But the thing is, I would get rid of Joaquin and I would actually replace him with somebody else from Gladiator.
Okay.
That's Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed is amazing in Gladiator.
He is so good in that film.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised it didn't happen because of the whole posthumous nomination that it would have been. Like, the story's right there for it. And he, like, to me, Gladiator is a movie that is so clearly trying to be a throwback. Mm-hmm. And he is from that era when they were making those kinds of movies. True. So he fits perfectly within that role. And just how boisterous he is. And he steals the scene in every moment that he's in. Like, he's so fun. And I absolutely love him in that film. And in a movie that I'm not even over the moon about, but I think that performance, I am just such a fan of.
Josh, you sort of mirrors exactly what they snubbed this year with Denzel, though, in a lot of ways as well, too.
Yeah.
And so
you
would think that flashy, big performance from a movie like that with somebody pulling the strings behind the scenes.
I am totally at peace with doing a Gladiator 1-to-1 Reed Phoenix swap.
Yeah, I mean,
but we can talk about it.
We can talk about it. We can put that here. We can put that in yellow.
Phoenix is in yellow.
Yeah. Okay.
Bridges in red.
Bridges in red. Goodbye, Bridges. So All right, I put Sam Jackson out there. What about you guys?
Gary Lewis, Billy Elliot.
Oh, it's a very.
I think that's a fantastic performance.
Okay. All right, Jay.
What do we think of Aaron Eckhart in Erin Brockovich?
So good.
So good.
So good.
Because he was on my list.
What do we think of Billy Crudup in Almost Famous?
He was on my list as well. I love him
He's
in
very
Almost
good.
Famous. Philip Seymour Hoffman, much smaller role,
Oh yeah,
but amazing in Almost Famous.
she's got like what those 2-3 scenes.
Yeah.
He's killing it because it's Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's the greatest
Hard
actor ever.
to give it to him for that when you got these other people who have much bigger roles, but he's amazing.
But he's so impactful, though,
He is.
in that movie.
He's so good in that movie. Would you count Will Patton as a supporting, or would you count him as a lead for Remember the Titans with Denzel?
Oh, supporting for sure. Yeah.
Okay. He's incredible in that movie.
He's great. I love him
You
in that
blitz
movie.
all
We blitz
night.
all night.
You know,
You're
that
gonna
is a
remember
movie that
the Titans.
that is good, but I will always resent it a little bit just because all my straight friends wanted to watch that movie constantly, and I just was never that into it. So I have a little unfair resentment towards that film.
Oh wait, I forgot about my number one option because
Okay.
it's a different formatting than the other cells in my Excel sheet for some reason. Fred Willard, Best in Show.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Hell yeah. Jay, that's a great pick.
yeah, that's a good one.
He doesn't have a line that isn't funny in that movie.
By the way, Joey Pants and Memento.
Memento's next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Memento's next year. Why
Yeah.
did I have that on my list?
There's a lot of like 2000
Yes.
movies.
That's
actually
right.
counted for
I'm
2001
sorry.
Here.
Letterbox
tipping
listed
my
on
hand for-
2000. You gotta make sure.
Yeah, maybe it was
look.
Sundance
I didn't.
2000,
Yeah, I
some
think it was
festival.
so. Yeah, I just didn't move it
Yeah.
off my list. I apologize, guys. Sorry. And I looked
No,
that
otherwise
up
we would have been
last night.
talking about Memento already.
and
Yeah.
In the Mood for Love and
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have yeah. Sorry about that. Let me just move it off my list. Okay,
No, next year.
next year. Okay. Who else?
I'm not sure we've really whittled it down here much.
No, we haven't.
But I think it's safe to say that we're getting rid of two. Are we all in agreement that Joaquin is going to go?
I think Joaquin's gonna go.
All right.
Yeah.
So Bridges and Joaquin gone.
That's fair.
So now we figure out who replaces him.
Yes. Who else?
If I was doing two, I would do Fred Willard and Gary Lewis. But I know those are two a little bit
Yeah.
off the beaten path.
I mean, Fred Willard, though, I do like that. And, you know, obviously getting comedy performances in,
Yeah.
I am a big fan of. Like, I actually wouldn't mind that one. The other one for me is Oliver Reed.
I'm good with Oliver Reed. He's so good in that movie.
Wait, who was the first one? Oh, Fred Willard.
Fred Willard,
Yeah.
Josh is on board with.
I'm on
That's a
board.
classic Jay out of left field pick right there.
It is. Would love to just give an honorable mention to Sam Rockwell in Charlie's Angels, who's incredible.
Oh,
just
he
for the-
is
just for the
in that
dancing
movie.
alone.
Yeah.
He's really good. Jay, have you ever seen that one?
That has been 25 years since I've seen that one. Yeah,
Well,
that was
sir, that's part of the exercise.
Well, I know. Yeah, I
Another
couldn't-
movie that my straight friends loved to watch at the time.
But was like, no, this is weirdly kind of for us.
Yeah, there's that. Well, honestly, one of the big things for me to see that movie when I was younger was that it had Tim Curry in it. So, and I
Yeah.
was watching everything that had Tim Curry in it. So that was my entry point to that movie. But yeah, it's like it knows what it is in particular, but I still think it's a fun film.
Can I throw out a weird one? And I know I'm going to get rejected and laughed at here, but I'm just going to say it.
Throw it out.
Okay.
Can an inanimate object be nominated for supporting actor?
Wilson.
Wilson for Castaway?
I mean, if you want the straightest white guy pick I have on my list, it was Brad Pitt in Snatch. So
He is great in that. That's
he's
one
great.
He
in
is
that
very
movie.
good in
so
that
good in
movie.
that movie. Yeah, I wanted to just say it, like Wilson's so important in that movie, and doesn't.
Oh, I cried when he
Every
lost
time.
Wilson.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Oh, incredible stuff. But I know that can't get nominated. I just,
If anything, that's like more so for Zemeckis' direction for us to be able to the direction
It goes
and
back to the
Tom Hanks'
writing.
performance. Yeah,
I think it goes back to the writing for you to like, and definitely in Hank's performance for you to That's why that Tom Hanks, he's pretty good at his job. By the way, we'll throw out De Niro in Meet the Parents. I think that it's a phenomenal, also
Yeah.
comedic performance as well that year too. Gets saturated by its sequels, but he's phenomenal.
Yeah,
in
that's
those
Meet the
films.
yeah,
Parents
and that
stinks. That
Do you
movie
really? Do you
stinks.
really think that stinks?
Yeah, that movie stinks.
Oh, Jay.
Yeah, get it out of here.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, Jay. I guess you're not getting invited to over to Bobby D's house this year for Christmas.
I guess not. In
Guess not.
Tribeca.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
All right,
He feels like he might leave the country now, to be honest.
Jay, you're not going to put up your guy Depp for Chocolat?
That is enough out of you.
He is actually pretty good in that.
He is good in that.
He's very good in that. I'm sorry. I was going to point it out.
All right, so we're in with Willard. Are we doing Oliver Reed?
Is that what you
Or-
guys want to do?
I'm good with that.
I would like Sam Jackson, but I totally
I'm good with Sam Jackson too.
But
He's
I
great in that
obviously
movie.
knows, like Oliver Reed. If we're doing a 1-for-1 swap there, like that's
I kind of like that
I kind of like that
as like a,
It's a fair
thing.
Yeah. Josh, what do you think?
I mean, I love Oliver Reed, and I just think that it is a better representation in this category as opposed to Joaquin Phoenix, who I am not the biggest fan of in that film to begin with. So I much prefer that. And yeah, Fred Willard, you're right, Jay. Everything he says is just comedy in that
Gold.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay, then fine. Don't know.
All right.
Sam Jackson.
Let's do it.
We'll do Oliver Reed. We'll do Fred Willard. We'll do Willem Dafoe, Albert Finney, and Benicio del Toro.
Benicio.
J-Dog. Go first.
Finny. He is so good in that movie. He is incredible in that movie. Finney by a landslide.
Wow.
Supporting actor.
Josh.
I don't think I'm going to say landslide, but very comfortably Albert Finney, which I remember when I was younger, I was very much on the Benicio del Toro train because I do think he's very good in Traffic still. But the more I have gotten older, the more I've become very appreciative of everything about Erin Brockovich. And I think Finney is just a delight in that. And yeah, no question, he has my vote now.
Finney.
Finny.
It's a sweep. Yes. Albert Finney should have won this in a walk. I get why Benicio won this at the time. And not necessarily the person I would have picked out of Traffic either, by the way.
He's really good.
He's
in
very
Traffic.
good. Just again,
You would go for Topher Grace.
But Finney's incredible in that movie, and he's got to go opposite Julia the entire time, and obviously he's very good. And that scene at the end with the bonus check is just one of those, just kind of encapsulates everything about that performance.
Absolute stinker.
Yeah, what a stinker. But I love the guy, and yeah, Albert Finney, you're our best supporting actor for this year. Josh, supporting actress.
So, best supporting actress, we have Marcia Gay Harden for Pollock, who was our winner. Judi Dench for Chocolat, Kate Hudson for Almost Famous, Frances McDormand for Almost Famous, and Julie Walters for Billy Elliot.
I would like to get rid of Judi Dench for Chocolat.
So I think the problem here is that the pool is pretty shallow.
Yeah.
For me it was y'all might have a bunch of people that you can pull out, but I don't really. Dench is definitely my first to go though, if we're getting rid of one. I'm kind
I would
of
agree.
okay with the rest of them, even though McDormand in Almost Famous to me is like, did she just get nominated because she was Frances McDormand a little bit?
She's good in that movie though.
She's good in it. But let's start with Dench and see who we want to replace her with and go
All
from
she
there.
does is she's just like kind of snarky and, grandson and her birthday party and all that stuff. Like it's such a sleepwalk performance from Judi Dench in that movie. And Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're getting rid of her. I think we're all in agreement. So who
Yeah.
would we replace her with?
Good question, Josh.
Well, and it's interesting because I do agree with you, Jay, that I don't think that even like looking outside of the nominees, that there were a ton of people I had a lot of passion for. The only one that really kind of went up to the top for me was Xi Zhang, but
Mm,
outside of
Yes.
that, that was like the only one I had a lot of passion for to like get into the lineup. And otherwise, yeah, nothing really else came to mind immediately. But if there are other suggestions, I will hear them.
I am 100% behind putting her in.
I am as well. If we want to do that, I'm just looking real quick.
I mean, you can pick one of 5 best in show people.
Yeah.
I would go Parker Posey if I had to just pick one.
Oh, that would be a fun nomination. Jay's coming out with the fun stuff today.
Well, they're all best in show.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you, Jay, for that. Stupid. Well, I know that I'm just reading out the sort of history of this from the year. Dench won SAG, and Winslet
Yeah,
was the 5th. Zeta Jones was nominated for Traffic at the Golden
at the
Globes.
Globes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, SAG, I just want to mention what I find funny about that, and I've made this joke before, that Judi Dench, the only person at SAG who did not have to thank Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah. Um
It's
and
very funny.
Zhang Ji she was nominated at BAFTA. Lena Olin was nominated along with Judi Dench. They went big for Chocolat at
Yeah, that
BAFTA.
makes sense for BAFTA, though.
They had a sweet tooth for that movie. Um, one would say. Um,
I mean, Jada?
for
No,
oh
and I don't
man,
think, no, I don't think so.
you want Will slapping somebody at the Oscars 25 years ago? Was Ali the next year?
Yeah, that was the next year.
Okay.
I'll tell you one that might be pretty fun.
Hmm.
Gabrielle Union. Bring it on.
Bring it on. All right.
She's great in that.
Seemed like crickets just came through the
But I don't know that I
screen.
would replace. I don't think there's anybody that I would replace.
Yeah, I do like her in that movie. I don't know if it's enough to like kick somebody else out.
I'm good with just kicking out one, if that's
Y'all
what we
want
want
to
to do.
y'all want to do Helen Hunt for cast away?
Nah.
Okay. I'm gonna throw it out there. Okay. And nobody else. It's kind of a thin category.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's the
Again, the
thing.
pool is
Like,
shallow. Yeah.
So who are we putting up?
well, I think we said Ziya Zhang, right?
Xi Zhang.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only one who's
All right.
just gonna replace Judi Dench. Yeah.
Okay. Alongside her are sorry, I'm gonna scroll back up. Is Marcia Gay Harden, our winner, Kate Hudson, Frances McDormand, and Julie Walters. Josh.
This is hard.
Yeah, I don't know how popular this is going to be, but I'm gonna go with Julie Walters because I love her dearly, and I think she's so good in that film.
She's great.
Jay.
I'm gonna go the ingenue pick, and I'm gonna pick Kate Hudson. Um, I do think she's amazing in that movie. It really is like a bolt of lightning when she first appears on screen, and she kind of maintains that luminous quality throughout the course of that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Kate Hudson as well.
Okay.
I think she's fantastic, and she provides, like Jay said, that spark, that energy that movie needs in order to propel itself. And um, she won the Globe, right?
I
And
believe so, yes.
also thought she should have won this Oscar. It's just like the two on the night for almost saying this that I thought it should have won, which is screenplay and her. And she's just kind of like how that movie sort of surmises itself. It's she's kind of magical in it, and yeah. So I'm glad that we're giving her this award. So, Kate Hudson, the Oscar's yours. Jay,
Yeah.
Best actor, buddy.
Best actor. Your winner was Russell Crowe for Gladiator. You also had Javier Bardem for Before Night Falls, Tom Hanks for Castaway, Ed Harris for Pollock, and inexplicably, Jeffrey Rush for Quills.
Did you watch Quills?
Yeah, bad.
It's not great. No.
It is so self-serious while being so stupid. So count me out on that one.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't.
I'm gonna
You're gonna give him the win.
I'm gonna take out Jeffrey Rush from Quills.
Okay.
I will say the other ones are good.
Harris is good, very good in Pollock.
He is. That was a movie I had seen pieces of it before, and I was kind of dreading watching it, but
Yeah.
there is a sense of urgency to that movie that I think really works, and also
because
the performances are just amazing.
Yeah, because Ed Harris rules.
Yeah.
He's like a great actor. And then Hanks and Crow. If we did get rid of somebody else, I would get rid of Bardem.
Bardem is really good
He's
in that
really
movie.
I really love that performance, though. Like the movie itself is kind of okay, which makes sense because it's a Julian Schnabel film. But I think that performance is really good.
That movie is nothing without that performance.
Yeah.
I just think that the other three performances and the other three films are better, so that's why I would
I would say that is next on the block for me, but
It's
I'm
in the
not
yellow.
committed to getting rid of it.
We can put it in the yellow if you guys want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, even like a light yellow. It's like a
Okay.
I don't know. I do have.
We do have
Who would you get
names,
rid of?
though.
Russie Crowe?
I would get rid of Russell Crowe.
Whoa!
Unbelievable.
It's not that I
from the
don't
top
think,
rope.
and it's not that I think he's a bad actor in that
Josh
movie.
was
He's
not
very good. Like
entertained.
it's an incredible like movie star performance.
Hell yeah!
But I don't know if I would have given an Oscar nomination to it. This is also just my feeling about Gladiator in general, which is
That's
just
fair.
it's a fun movie, but I
It's
think most
pop
of its Oscar
entertainment.
nominations are rather ridiculous. And I think that if I am looking for people to get rid of, yeah, for me, it would be Russell Crowe. Not because he's bad, but just because I don't think it is the caliber of performance that I would nominate in a Best Actor lineup. But I know that is a minority opinion.
All right, well, let's see who else we can come up with.
Man. Woo.
If you want to talk about something along the exact same lines as what Josh was talking about, which is something that I love, and another one in that vein that I would nominate, it's Denzel on Remember the Titans.
Yeah, that is
That movie is
he's so goddamn good. in that movie.
nothing without him.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
It is insane the level of performance he gives in that movie for like just a Disney sports movie. Like he shouldn't be giving that level of work, but that's what happens when you hire someone that is Denzel fucking Washington.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that just
And-
naturally happens when you have him in the movie. Yeah.
I think I had that in my top 5 performances for Denzel too when we did that exercise, Jay, last year.
I might have as well. It is like that is a Herculean feat he pulls off in that movie because it is so generic, but he is just electric in that movie.
because he's like one of the best actors, if not the best actor on the planet.
Yeah,
Just
Hard to argue. Yeah.
you shouldn't have let me have him in the movie star draft.
I shouldn't have. I should have just given
One of
you
your great
Ford.
follies. One of your great
I
follies.
know. He's my guy too. That's ridiculous. I took Ford though. That was not a bad choice.
No, that's not bad.
No,
But we're not litigating that right now.
no, we're not. No, you brought it up, so thanks for litigating it. I mean,
Well,
I think
Christian Bale was another one.
Christian
yeah,
Bale,
Christian Bale is
for sure.
Yeah, that's like
That's a crazy good performance. I think Bruce Willis and Unbreakable as well too, alongside Sam Jackson. Like people don't give him enough credit for how
Doesn't reach quite up here for me, but I mean it's a good performance.
it's a damn good performance.
I really love BAFTA winner Jamie Bell for Billy Elliot.
Really good.
Jay's a big Billy Elliot guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Also Ruffalo for You Can Count on Me.
Yes.
yeah, Ruffalo.
Great performance.
I love Ruffalo. He's a good actor.
He's a great actor. Yeah.
Clooney and Oh Brother with Art Thou is.
I think an
great-
amazing performance.
amazing performance for him. Trying to just think of some others.
Colin Farrell for Tigerland, I think is also a pretty good pick. Not like in the higher up for me, but I do think that that is a very good performance.
Yeah. Jay, what do you think? Mel Gibson and What Women Want?
Well, I thought he was disqualified because it was so obvious that he was the winner.
Obviously, yes.
Just a movie we talked about, a year we've talked about recently over on Director Watch. So obviously not serious at all about any of that.
I don't know that I feel like we've said a lot of things we're pretty passionate about, but not uber passionate about.
Okay.
So let's talk about so who's replacing Rush? Let's just do that first. If you had who is next in line for you, Ryan?
Oh, man. It's either Denzel or Bale. Like those are,
I think I'm the same.
but Ruffalo, ooh, probably Denzel or Ruffalo. And with a Bale at a third. I mean, Ruffalo's kind of incredible in that movie. But Bale's also I can go back and forth. But I would
Bale's
I would do
performance is so
Denzel.
iconic.
Honestly though, I would do if not to appease Josh here. But if we were gonna replace Crow, I would just replace him with Denzel, but I know that that's also blasphemy.
I don't want to replace Crow.
But I love Crow's win because it's the culmination of like a 3 or 4 year run for him where he was the greatest actor like at that time, and it's such a historical run for that guy in his career.
He kind of had the belt.
Yeah, I
for
kind of
those,
wouldn't.
like,
I
3 to
wouldn't
5
give up.
years.
I wouldn't maybe give him the win because we talked about this last year when we did 99, where I would have given him the win for Insider and opened this thing back up. And I'm definitely would not give it to him.
Okay,
for
so
the
then
movie we're talking about next year.
if Ryan and I, if we like Crow and Josh and I like Bardem, why don't we just leave them and only replace one?
Okay.
So
Yeah,
let's just
because
replace
everybody's
Rush.
gonna hurt, so might as well.
Yeah, well, let's not hurt each other.
So then,
This is a civil exercise.
So no, the
today.
real pain is gonna be coming who we're gonna replace this
Yes.
person with.
Well, Josh, technically, a real pain came out in 20.
Yeah, I know you're gonna. fucking
so
say
Josh,
something
who
about
is next in line for you?
it. Oh man, this is so difficult because I love a lot of these performances. But if I had to pick one,
I know, right? It's
Christian
tough.
Bale. I'd say
Okay.
Christian Bale. Very close
Wow.
second would be Jamie Bell, but I think Bale, because that is such a monumental performance that we are still talking about today. You know, probably on the same level as like a Russell Crowe, only like deserving, in my opinion. So I would say Christian Bale.
For that reason, just because I feel like it deserves to be kind of, in cement as a defining performance of this year, I think I'm going to go Bale as well.
I love you, Denzel. Don't worry. You're right here. You're a winner next year, so that's all that matters.
He's not allowed to get nominated in a year where a
We'll
Gladiator
see.
movie gets released,
That's fair. Yeah,
even when he's in it.
even though he's really good in Remember the Titans.
Yes, he's great in it. So
Yeah,
let's
he
go
He's great
Bale.
in everything. Like
yeah, everything. Josh, even Gladiator
most
2?
things. I didn't say he was bad in Gladiator 2.
Okay.
I think the movie is bad.
Okay,
It's everything around him.
he's phenomenal
Yeah.
though in that movie. Okay.
Yeah, he's good. It's just he's in a piece of shit.
So Christian Bale, along with Ed Harris, Tom Hanks, Javier Bardem, Russell Crowe. That's what we did. Okay. Josh, where are you leaning?
I am going to be a very basic internet fanboy and say Christian Bale.
Okay. J-Dog.
I'm going Russell Crowe. I think it is like a defining performance. I think movie star energy is something like that inherent trait that some people have and other people don't should be rewarded, I think, more regularly. And I think was in a category that we're going to talk about coming up right after
Which
this
I
one.
do agree with it there, by
Yeah.
the way. I'm not totally against movie star performances because we are going to talk about that in a performance that I really do like.
Yes.
I just prefer it there rather than here.
Yeah, and in my mind, those things are like tied together. I feel the same way about kind of both of those performances. Some of the monologues given by Crow in this thing are just ingrained in culture for the rest of time. And you really, really notice how amazing that performance is when you watch Gladiator 2.
I guess for me, it's just, yeah, well, that is true. Yeah. Oof. Sorry, I don't really want to talk about how much I don't like Gladiator 2. But I do think that I agree that, he has those moments that are just so titanic in stature and they are very, very impactful. But I guess for me, it's just like using that skill for that material is not as impressive to me.
We're gonna have
That's an interesting argument.
we're gonna have to deliberate because we're in another 3-way tie.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
My winner is Tom Hanks
Hanks.
for Cast Away.
Look, you're not going to have to do much to talk me into Hanksy.
I think that this is a top tier, if not maybe my favorite Tom Hanks performance ever. I think he's incredible in this movie, and I think that movie doesn't work without Tom Hanks, like at all.
Well, no kidding.
And like literally, no, I know that it's like, oh, you could say that, but there's so much of that movie. Yes, On the Island is really wonderful, but that stuff when he comes back home and he's like sleeping on the floor, or he's at the party and people are all leaving and he just sees like the abundance of food and like like when he's like got the crab legs right there and he's just like, this is nothing to me now in comparison to like what I had to fight for so much time. And
What do you think that last shot is about? It's almost like he's at a
crossroads,
fork in the road.
yeah. I know that Zemeckis is cheesy and hammy and everything, but I think Hanks's performance goes beyond that, and it's really just this incredible achievement by him. And I don't understand why this movie star wasn't celebrated to the extent that he was in the decade before, and hasn't been really celebrated since. And like I know like he's had Captain Phillips and other performances that have been nominated over the last couple of years, and I think he's weirdly starting to become underrated.
Should have gotten one for the robot movie. What was that one called?
Finch.
Loved that movie.
You love Finch.
Loved Finch. Made me cry.
Did you like the one with the ship? What was that one?
Oh
Greyhound?
yeah, Greyhound. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was when I knew I was ready to become a dad.
I was about to say, this is very dadcore right now.
Yeah.
Jay, did you like News of the World?
No, boring.
No.
Snoozer.
Did you like A Man Called Otto?
Not really.
Did you like Pinocchio from
Oh, of
Zemeckis?
course. Yeah.
Did you like Here this year?
Oh my God, Here. It's so there is a Here hive that is.
Yep.
They're drinking the weirdest Kool-Aid.
Look, I get it. I don't think that movie is as bad as people make it out to be. It is a misfire. I think there's some quality things in it. It's just a mess.
I think it's very interesting in theory and calamitous in execution.
Yes.
I will say one thing for Here though is that for the whole like fixed camera position, it was not as tedious as I was expecting it to be.
No,
and I give it credit at least for that. I will say
it's just it's a stupid movie. It's very
well. The Ben Franklin stuff is
it's
like,
so
what are we doing? Like that is the worst.
Yeah.
The Kelly O'Reilly character is truly one of the most like the whole thing with the necklace. That is.
I like when they tried to make Tom Hanks look like a teenager.
Yeah. Why is he so Republican in that movie and obsessed with like interest rates? It's ridiculous. But anyway,
because it's the boomerest movie.
Yeah, I was about to say
made.
he's a boomer. Like,
yeah, it's a Robert Zemeckis movie. What do you mean?
Did you? I mean, remember Forrest Gump?
Yeah,
also
I know.
A conservative movie.
Yeah, very much so. But Castaway is phenomenal, and I think Hanks is incredible in that movie.
I will say this: like, I think Tom Hanks is my runner-up. So.
And I think Tom Hanks is my runner-up as well.
And I think my runner-up would be.
Well, it doesn't matter because Tom Hanks is your number one. So.
Hell yeah. So it looks like Tom Hanks just won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Got number
Good
3,
for you,
baby.
Tom.
Good for you, Mr. Hanks. T. Hanks. Thanks.
Which I think people were expecting him to win before Gladiator really took off. So
I just remember seeing them. That movie was a massive hit too,
It was
which is
huge.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so was What Lies Beneath.
Yeah,
It was a
Zemeckis-
huge year for Bobby Z. It
And
does
then he-
absolutely rock that he filmed half of Castaway, then What Lies Beneath, then the second half of Castaway.
It's crazy.
That rules.
Yeah.
That's so good. Oh, love that movie.
Oh,
Go watch Cast Away.
Castaway.
Yeah,
man, remember when Zemeckis made good movies?
it's been a while.
This
Yeah.
was the last one, no?
Yeah, this was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess some people
get-
like Flight.
I like the
Nobody-
first 40 minutes of Flight.
Yeah.
After that, it becomes very boring. And you know what? Beowulf is not good,
Oh.
but I will watch it because it's just fun trash and very disposable, but it's not a good movie.
You know what
What's
movie?
what's the Brad Pitt one?
Allied.
Oh,
one's
the most
not
forgettable movie on the planet.
Terrible, but yeah,
That one had so much potential. That's, I think, one of the biggest misfires, because I was just watching that movie. I was like, man, if you had a different actress, maybe.
I don't
I
even
think-
think that's what it is. It's so generic.
Because I think
Yeah.
Pitt's actually like trying, but he has a scene partner, Marion Cotillard, that just is not giving him anything. And
I remember nothing from that movie.
and that's
it
the other
is
thing.
completely
It's so
vanished.
forgettable.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever take the walk?
Oh, I
Oh,
walked.
you mean The Walk?
The walk.
Yeah.
But Jay's a big defender of Marwan. So
No, I am a mild defender of Marwan.
Okay, I'm about to say you bet because that is a god awful movie.
There is
What
a
is-
scene where a doll of Steve Carell is in a toy DeLorean lamenting the fact that he will forever be defined by the things that he has made and not the things that he has done. And to me, it was like, all right, Bobby Z, I see you right now.
I think the best thing involving Robert Zemeckis is the joke in I'm thinking of ending things. That's probably the best
That was
thing.
good. Directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Exactly.
That was good.
Okay,
All right.
Josh,
Congratulations, Tom.
best actress.
Best actress, we have Julia Roberts for Erin Brockovich, our winner. Joan Allen for The Contender, Juliette Binoche for Chocolat, Ellen Burstyn for Requiem for a Dream, and Laura Linney for You Can Count on Me. Another strong category.
Yeah.
I think I know where Jay's going in terms of elimination.
I mean, Joan Allen is pretty decent in The Contender, but we can absolutely find somebody better.
Okay. So Joan Allen.
That's fine. Yeah.
Love Joan Allen as an actress.
Yes, generally speaking, love her.
I wish she would do more. I feel like she hasn't done a lot. She's like almost semi-retired. Somebody
This
should give her
pool is
something.
not particularly deep either.
It's not.
This is not awesome.
This is not awesome. Did you? Okay. Josh, do you want to get rid of anybody else, or are you? good with just one for now.
I mean, yeah, we can just stick with that for now. I also am not like in love with Juliette Binoche in that movie, but if there's more passion to keep her, that's fine too.
I think she's probably next off for me, but you're going to have to fight me tooth and nail to get me to unnominate Juliette Binoche in anything.
Yeah. She's
We'll see.
the greatest.
Let's see who we can find first.
All right. Put somebody up. Put a name up.
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Bjork.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want a
Sandra.
fun one,
Sandy.
Sandra Bullock,
I was just gonna say Sandy B.
Miss Congeniality.
I would take out Juliette Binoche for Sandy B.
I kind of would too.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
It's not that I don't like Juliette in that film or in general as an actress. It's just Chocolat. You know?
I have not seen Dancer in the Dark, so I cannot speak to that
You
one.
haven't seen Dancer in the Dark?
Have not. Didn't find time for it, unfortunately. It's pretty long.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah. I picked Yee over Dancer in the Dark.
That's fair. You watched The Contender instead of watching Dancer.
Well, I knew I had to watch everything that was nominated.
Well, at least you did that. People in the
Yeah.
past haven't done that. You know what I mean? So called being
But
prepared.
I have
What you do
heard
for Kevin's show.
that Dancer in the Dark is a great film with a great performance. So if y'all want to do that, I am good with that.
Josh.
Yeah, because I'm not even. I don't like Lars von Trier
I'm not a
like at
big
all.
no, I'm not a big guy with them either,
No,
but
but that performance is like pretty astounding. It really is.
pretty undeniable.
Yeah.
I would put her in, and if we did want to put in
Who
somebody,
would you put Yo or Bjork first?
Bjork.
Yeah, for like the culture of things, I'd say Bjork.
Yeah.
Okay. And then put her in for Joan Allen. And then would you put Michelle Yeoh over Juliette Binoche?
No, I put Sandy B over
Oh,
Michelle.
you're going Sandy B as
Yeah.
the next option.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, between those two, I still would prefer Michelle Yeoh, but I do also admit that Bullock would be fun, but I would prefer
I
Michelle
would
Yeoh
say Yo,
personally.
and if we're doing a fun poppy pick, I would actually go Kirsten Dunst over Sandy B.
Oh, wow. For bringing on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I think Michelle Yeoh is probably the right answer.
I mean, it's the right answer. It's not the answer I want to do. I want to nominate Sandra Bullock for Miss Congeniality. Shot in San Antonio, Texas, by the way. So just going to put that out there.
Oh, so now we know
Yeah, exactly.
the reason.
A little bit. Shot at the, by the Alamo. You know what I mean? You got to remember that, you know? But yeah, I mean, if we're going to, I mean, it seems consensus we're going to do Michelle Yeoh and
Seems like it. Yeah. She's great in the movie.
she is very good in that movie. That's the movie I would nominate her for. You know?
Okay.
You know
All
what I mean?
right.
I'm just what? I'm just saying. I would nominate her for it. Not that's nothing. That's got nothing else to do with anything else. But Sandy would have been a lot of fun. That is a really fun performance.
Oh
And
yeah.
Kirsten Dunst as well too. So okay. Michelle Yeoh, Bjork, right?
Yep.
And then Laura Linney, and then Julia Roberts and Ellen Burstyn. Those are our 5.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Jay, you want to go first?
I am going to go with the pride of Smyrna, Georgia, family friend of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., Julia Fiona Roberts. Landslide.
Landslide. Okay. All right.
One of the great movie star performances ever.
Josh.
So when I was on Kevin Jacobson's podcast talking about a Best Actress lineup, he asked me what was my favorite Best Actress win, and my first answer was Katharine Hepburn for The Lion in Winter because that's my like all-time favorite movies, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was an obvious answer, and so my second one to break it up was Julia Roberts for Erin Brockovich. You talk about movie star. This is absolutely a movie star performance. Somebody who just comes in and knows exactly how to command every inch of that screen and that you are completely captivated by her. But she also is able to deliver a really powerful emotional performance and you connect with her as a character as well. She looms large as she needs to be to take over, but not at the expense of ever losing sight of the actual character she's playing too. And you still feel this really great emotional connection. I think that it is masterful work that we don't really get to see from a lot of people anymore because we don't have movie stars anymore. And I think that this is just a great example of delivering that star power, but also being really good at finding character work within it too. And yeah, I think it's one of the greats out there and totally deserving of the win and would 100% have my vote.
It's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Julia
One
Roberts,
of the greats.
one of the great Best Actress wins.
It's so cool that Coretta King paid for Julia Roberts' hospital bills. That's one of the great fun facts.
Didn't you? No. Okay. I didn't actually know that. Really?
Yeah, they had an acting school, her family, and I think Martin Luther King's kids attended or something. Yeah, pretty cool. One of the first like integrated acting schools or something like that. So
Roberts is incredible in this movie. It's one of those also too. America's Sweetheart, one of the most box office bankable actresses we had at the time, paid her dues, hit after hit, movie after movie. This movie becomes a hit, and it's off the back of her performance as well as Soderbergh, Finney. That whole movie just really, really is wonderful. But it was one of those too, Josh, where it was like it's her time,
Yeah.
and those narratives can always feel like it's for really lesser movies, for movies and performances that feel like they're sort of just like zombieing through, like or like Jessica Chastain, right, is like one where I think about that all the time, where it's like she's a great actress but she won for a sleepwalk performance, right? And this isn't the case. This is one where the performance is great, the campaign was great, the time was right, the movie's awesome, like the stars aligned perfectly for this.
Yeah.
And the movie has aged so well over the last 25 years.
Movie rocks.
Movie rocks. And really is like a modern staple for that sort of investigative legal drama. And yeah, Roberts all the way. Not even close. Like
Yeah.
I'm
One of the
so
greats.
glad.
Yeah,
One of
the
greats.
culmination of its time, and it's great.
And it's deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Julia Roberts. Keeping that Oscar. Love to see it. All right. Her and Hanks. Look at there. It's like a Larry Crown reunion. There you go. All right. Or I guess it wouldn't be reunion, it'd just be like foreshadowing to Larry Crown. Best director. The winner was Steven Soderbergh for Traffic, and Stephen Daldry for Billy Elliot, Ang Lee for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Steven Soderbergh again for Erin Brockovich, and The Riddler for Gladiator.
Yep.
I'm
getting rid of Ridley.
You're getting rid of The Riddler?
Yeah.
I would too.
Whoa, guys.
But again, I'm just not a big Gladiator fan to the extent that I think it deserves all these nominations.
I like
it's a
Gladiator.
good movie.
I like it. I watched that movie and I'm like, this isn't particularly well directed.
Jay.
Yeah.
The Riddler. Can't
I
do
think
that to the
the
Riddler.
action sequences in that movie are by and large very poorly shot and edited.
All right.
Well, that's because he has like just a dozen cameras and
Yeah.
just says action and I'll figure it out later in the edit.
Exactly.
God, you guys are so mean to the Riddler.
I like Gladiator.
Yeah, it's a good movie. This is the argument that I always make though, is like it's a good film. I enjoy it, but being good does not mean you deserve an Oscar nomination for something, you know?
I would
Yeah.
nominate him, but I get it.
I would get rid of Soderbergh for Traffic as well.
I would. That was one of the ones I would get rid of, and I would
Yellow.
I would I would have gotten rid of Stephen Daldry for Billy Elliot. Like,
I actually think that movie, having just watched it for the first time, I was like, this thing is like really directed. I thought
know,
it was going to be
I think it is too.
super
Yeah.
bland. That thing has flair.
well, it seems
I think
like we're getting
it
rid
really
of
does sing because of his talents, I think.
Yeah.
so it does seem like we're going to get rid of Ridley Scott for Gladiator. And based on
So two of us have Ridley and two of us have Soderbergh for Traffic. So I think we get rid of those two.
It sounds like it. Even though I wouldn't get rid of Soderbergh for Traffic, but I understand
Josh, what would
the
you get rid
sentiment.
of? Outside of Ridley?
Outside of Ridley,
It's a pretty good 4.
I mean that's the thing. Like, it is a good 4. So like,
Yeah.
Ridley's the only one I actually have a passion to get rid of. So if you want to get rid of Soderbergh for Traffic, like I get it. It's fine. I'm not necessarily attached to it.
We can yellow.
Again, there are parts of Traffic I think are great, and then
Yeah.
there are parts of Traffic that I think are just bad.
I think it's more of just also too. I would like to nominate somebody else. Like,
And Soderbergh's already in there.
He's not
Yeah.
doubling up. I
Yeah.
understand that.
yeah, it's not a
And just keep the better movie.
exactly. In my opinion,
Which I
it's a
guess-
better movie. Yeah.
All right. So who else?
All right. Well,
Shout out Edward Yang. You will be missed. Yee would put him in here, but
I would
not
put him
gonna. I mean, if you and I are passionate about it, we can.
I
But
consider
let's look at our other options because I don't really want to put somebody that
it.
1/3 of the
Bobby Z.
judicial board has not seen. Bobby Z, I would put on.
Bobby Z for cast.
I think Unbreakable is so well directed.
I love M. Night. I'm never going to say a bad thing about M. Night. You guys know I'm.
I think
very
that is
biased.
arguably his
To a
best
fault.
directed movie.
I know, Josh. I'm sorry. He's my guy.
But yeah, Unbreakable is a very well directed movie. I mean, I would also obviously throw out Spike Lee for
I was going to say,
Bamboozled.
in terms of
Yeah.
just being like wild, and
That is like it is
That
so
movie-
hard for me to wrap my head around that movie because it just does look like 280p for half of the movie, and I'm like, I know it's purposeful, but God, it's hard on the
very,
eyes.
very purposeful. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's why I like it though, because
Yeah.
there is a point to it.
Exactly.
I know
It stands out.
it is such yeah, it's all purposeful.
I would totally consider Spike for that. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Also would throw out Mary Harron for American Psycho so that we can also, name a woman in this
Yes.
lineup too, possibly.
Yes. I would. Jay, you throwing out Ron Howard for Grinch?
I am not actually.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Cameron Crowe for
Da-da-da-da-da.
Almost Famous. Just throw him out. Even though I
Yeah.
think the screenplay is better than the direction, but
I mean, if you love the movie, you
yeah,
also have to
I
love
do
the
love the
direction
movie
too.
though. I was just
I was gonna. I'm just looking at the movies. You know what we haven't really talked about, and there hasn't really been a reason to. Wonder Boys is like a rock solid movie.
it's a good movie.
That movie's good.
Maybe consider Douglas for actor.
Oh God,
We didn't even talk about that.
we didn't even talk about him.
Damn it, Jay.
I totally.
We totally
Well,
blanked on that.
we had a lot of tough decisions to make an actor.
Yeah,
Though.
you know
We had
what?
a lot of
In
options.
my
It-
mind, I was like, he got nominated, so we don't have to do it.
Yeah, right. Josh, do you like Wonder Boys?
It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like awesome, but I think it's good.
Yeah.
like a rock solid movie's okay, guys.
As they say in the movie, fit as a fiddle.
Okay. What are we doing here? Who do we Josh. Inarritu? Amores Perros?
No.
Okay. I'm just
No.
you gotta throw all options out there.
Sure. I mean, you can, but no. I hate that movie.
I'm gonna throw out based on the conversation. I'm feeling Zemeckis Spike vibes.
That would be good. Josh?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm leaning towards that. I do have a soft spot for American Psycho too, but
That would be a great nom, Jay.
Mary Harron.
I mean, so well directed movie. Certainly a unique, visionary movie.
I would go Psycho.
And there's already 3 dudes on this panel. I feel like we should try to get at least one female filmmaker in here.
I think American Psycho and
It is actually
It was-
astounding when you look at the list of movies and how few of the films are directed by women.
I would do American Psycho and I would do Bamboozled.
It's fine with me.
That's what I would go with.
I do think
Although-
I do think Castaway is kind of an achievement, but I'm not
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
crazy attached to it.
Like if we could get rid of more people, I would definitely then say Zemeckis should have been in here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. If we can get rid of Steven Daldry, I would have put Zemeckis in.
Yeah.
That's not a shot at. It's not even a shot at Daldry. I just think that Castaway is a better movie.
As far as movies that feel like they only could have been directed by that particular person, definitely Bamboozled
Yeah.
and American Psycho feel that way.
Well, also too, like just the Heron's direction of this through this. That movie is great because it is directed through the lens of a female director about this toxic, dangerous masculinity.
I mean, I think that's definitely part
Yeah.
of it.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I think that that's what's so successful about that movie. So, yes. Mary Harron for American Psycho, Spike Lee for Bamboozled. Then we have Steven Soderbergh for Erin Brockovich, Steven Daldry for Billy Elliot, and Ang Lee for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Those are our nominees. Jay, who are you giving the Oscar to, buddy?
Yeah, when it comes to this category, oftentimes I do find myself leaning towards if this was made by anybody else, would it have been as successful? And this auteurist vision of it just feels like this person was meant to make this movie. And that is how I feel about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Ang Lee. I think that is sort of the most visually influential and also sort of transcendently uh, audacious movie of the year. I think there's a high degree of difficulty with that movie, and I think it pulls it off not just from an action perspective and a visual perspective, but from an emotional perspective as well. So I will go Ang Lee for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Josh.
Just going to say copy paste what Jay said. Ang Lee, Crouching Tiger, I think is just a monumental achievement in filmmaking and really like kind of I mean not really revolutionize anything, but it's just so distinct in a way that got general audiences to see a subtitled movie in droves that were really kind of not really seen all that much before. And I think a lot of that is because of what Lee is doing with that material. So yeah, I would go with him, which judging by the precursors that year, kind of seemed like he was going to win. It was actually very surprising that he lost that Oscar.
Yes. It was one of those times where the DGA didn't line up.
Yeah, he won DGA,
Yeah.
Globe, and
Yeah.
BAFTA.
Yeah. Should have been a lock. And then he wasn't. Right.
Yeah, surprising.
Um, I mean, Ang Lee's won this, but I would give it to Steven Soderbergh for Erin
I
Brockovich.
mean, that would be a good one. The thing about Soderbergh is he just makes it seem so easy.
That is
That's
true.
that's the
Yeah.
thing is that, and we might be talking about him next year for a movie that he thinks that we all think is that most people think is very easy, but it was actually very difficult to make in Ocean's 11.
I feel like half this
Um,
episode is just previewing
yeah,
2001,
oh
honestly.
yeah, we totally are. Though it's a very strong-ish year as well next year in 2001.
Yeah,
But
as long as you ignore what won Oscars that year,
exactly,
then it's very strong.
we'll get rid of that
Yeah.
in a year. You know what I mean? But I just think he won for the wrong movie. Even though I think both, like he had such a amazing year, with Traffic and Erin Brockovich. I just think that for me, the better film and the better aesthetic film, like visually speaking, film too, is also Erin Brockovich because Yellow. But if I had a runner up, I mean, Ang Lee is there, but also Spike. Like we nominated Spike. The direction of that movie is insane. I know it's purposeful. I know Jay's like, gosh, I don't want to look at this anymore. But it's incredible. It's an incredible feat that what Spike was able to do. And that movie has sadly aged impeccably well. Not sadly in terms of quality, just in terms of where we're at in the world,
In the culture.
in the
Yeah.
culture. Yeah. And, that's the thing is we hope some movies don't age well because then we've evolved and changed and we actually haven't, in ways we've gotten worse. But yes, Ang Lee, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, totally okay with this win. All right, Best Picture, Gladiator, won Best Picture. It took all until this time to finally do that.
Now, Jay, do you know why he said it that way?
I do not.
Okay, I was wondering if the straight guy was gonna know why you pronounced it that way.
Because at the Golden Globes, when they gave Best Picture Drama, it was Elizabeth Taylor, and she went up there. She opened the envelope and went Gladiator, and so
Because she was drunk as hell.
yes, as
She actually
one
tried to
should be.
open up the envelope before reading all the nominees, and then they
Yeah,
had like
just
Dick
like,
Clark literally came out on stage to
like, don't.
help her because she was just so lit. I mean, it's
So it
so
was
fun.
sort of the my eyes see Oppenheimer.
Yeah, in my eyes, the Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Only this time you could clearly tell that she was drunk.
Yeah, it's
The good
one
old
of those.
days.
It's one
Yeah.
of those that built the reputation for the Golden Globes.
I'm telling you, like, do the Golden Globes make objectively better choices now? Yes.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think people are going to miss the old Globes at a certain point because they're going to miss the chaos.
Chaos was good for them.
The
Yeah,
bribery.
I'm going to be honest. Like, yeah, they make better choices, but now they're kind of just like a glorified critics group, which I mean is
they're like a
good.
regional critics group. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's like I'm glad that they make better choices, yes, but at the same time, like we all kind of liked them being corrupt and
It's what
chaotic. Like
made
that's the
them
Globes.
it's what made them unique.
Exactly.
And
And
when you take that factor away,
now you
then
just like the
like
critics' choice. Okay,
yeah,
fine, whatever.
yeah,
You know,
you're just a regional critics group at that point. No, I agree
that's
with
my
you,
hot
Josh.
take on the Globes. Is
I,
like they were kind of better when they were
you know
corrupt.
what, Josh? Approved. I agree with
Yep.
it. Best picture though: Gladiator, Chocolat, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Erin Brockovich, Traffic. We can take up to 3 out of this category. I
Yeah.
assume this is where we take out Gladiator.
Gladiator, Chocolat, Traffic, boom, done. Write it down.
Josh,
I mean, I definitely say Chocolat and Gladiator. I know I am the bigger defender of Traffic amongst the group here, but I also realize that's probably a losing battle, so I'm not going to fight too much on it.
You're in bad company.
But I do like Traffic. I think it's a very good movie. I think it deserves to be in this lineup. But if you guys have something that you want to put in ahead of it, I completely understand.
I can side Traffic just for a second, but I do think that there will be other films that I want to push in over Traffic. Sorry, Josh. Um, but yes, I do agree with Chocolat, even though I don't think it's a bad movie.
No, it's not a bad movie.
And
No.
and in Gladiator, um,
Which again, I don't think it's a bad movie either. It's just I think it being a Best Picture nominee is
It's just not one of the
rather
5
ridiculous.
best movies of the year. Yeah.
No.
okay. So we're keeping Crouching Tiger and Erin Brockovich for now. What would you all like to replace these 3 with?
Bamboozled.
Well, Bamboozled
Obviously.
is there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Passed Away.
Castaway. Are you sure, Jay? Is
Yes.
that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to put up to the table Almost Famous.
Yeah, definitely a contender. I would say You Can Count on Me is a
Yeah.
nominee for me.
That was another one.
Yee Yee.
Emperor's New Groove. Movie's
See,
actually
the
good.
animated film for me this year would be Chicken Run.
Another
Ooh.
good one.
Who's in Chicken Run, Jay?
Melly Mel.
There you go.
One of Hollywood's
You
ambassadors.
walk
Yeah,
right
good thing they
into it,
replaced
Josh.
him with somebody who was not problematic at all for the sequel, too. Yeah.
Stallone?
No, it's Zachary Levi.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
Jay, that's who would be the ambassador. The modern
yeah.
ambassador. Holy
Yeah.
shit. We've been going over this left and right. And sorry for all the listeners out there.
Who's
that's gonna
most
be-
mad about not being one of the ambassadors?
Yeah, who's not on the Mount Rushmore?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely him.
Zachary Levi. And he
we
would
were
be like,
we were saying Quaid maybe.
I threw out Wahlberg.
I think Levi is I think that's the right answer.
No, that is the one.
That is the right
Because he's so
We found
desperate
it.
for it.
Oh my God. He was so pissed off.
He's a
that
real
people-
tryhard.
He was so mad that people didn't go see Shazam 2. But what was the movie that he was like, you guys don't need to see this in theaters or something? And it was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was
A movie
just
that
like,
he was in, or talking about
somebody.
another
Yeah,
film?
he was talking about another movie.
I think it was John Wick.
Yeah, it was John Wick. He was so pissed off that people were going to see a great movie in theaters.
Because like that's the R-rated movie that we're family entertainment. I
Yeah.
guess I don't know.
Yeah, and it was trying to
whatever.
speak to morals when he's like a jackass. So
Yeah.
anyway,
But I just find it so funny that character in Chicken Run, it's like they can't win every time. It's a cursed role.
it very much is. Like they're just never gonna put a
Caviezel's
decent
next.
Yeah, Caviezel's next, or James Woods. You know what I mean? Somebody like that. That's who
John
else we
Voight,
thought about.
yeah.
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
well,
James Woods
well,
is
Voight's
definitely
Yeah.
one of the
in the running.
ambassadors. Yeah, he's already one of those.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Like, what is their role gonna be?
Nothing. None of these groups that they're putting together have any jurisdiction or anything.
What do you
So-
want them to do, though, Jay? You speak for them.
I mean, look, we've been talking about it a lot. And
I'm sorry, buddy.
we're trying to make a Chocolat sequel
Okay. Oh my
starring Johnny
God.
Depp.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
called-
We gotta rehabilitate his career again.
Who's
Yeah.
the
called-
love interest?
It's called White Chocolat.
White chocolate. Okay. who's the lead?
Well, Johnny
female
Depp is the lead. The female lead is going to be played by
Who's the girlfriend?
who's a controversial woman?
Who's the lady
Roseanne
from
Barr?
No,
who's
Roseanne. Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the lady from
Oh my God, no, like,
Haywire? Haywire.
Oh, Gina.
Oh, Gina Carano.
There you go.
Guys, obviously, it's Carlos Sofia Gascon.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh,
There it
boy.
is.
I don't
Tie it
know.
all
I'm
back
not sure
together.
if they'll like that very much.
And this episode's really tied it back
Oh,
together.
no, because she's doing the full, like, Caitlyn Jenner now. So, like, this is her audition to get into those spaces.
You're right.
And to be
you're
like,
right,
hey,
you're
no,
right.
I'm, like, one of the good transgender people because
my
I'm against
God.
woke.
There you go. And then the Alfred Molina character is played by Kevin Spacey. Spacey comes back into the film.
As
Yeah.
Frank Underwood.
There you go. I do declare this white chocolate is bad for the community.
Or Tom Hanks
Oh.
can do his. It looks like this chocolate's what?
Oh, like from Elvis?
Yes.
Oh, it's Colonel Parker.
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Damn,
This-
I had a joke, but I cannot say it. I really want to say it, but I can't.
I love when the
cannot
main
on mic.
show turns into director watch very easily. Anyway, back
I'm very
to
excited to hear that joke
Yeah.
after this recording. Let's hurry up.
So what? So I think Bamboozled is in.
I would like to
Yeah,
get an
sounds
honorary Yee Yee nom in here
You want
if we have
to?
space for it. I think that is
You know
the
what?
only. I think that is the only masterpiece, in my opinion, of the year.
I will allow that to happen because I can imagine it
Thank
is
you, Josh.
an incredible movie, and just I don't want it to be punished just because I haven't done the work to see it yet. So yes, I'm okay with that.
And I
Especially
would
since we
like-
have more-
It's very generous of you.
I think the last spot, I would personally pick Almost Famous.
You know
what
what?
were the
I
other? What else was in contention?
Well, You Can't Count on Me, and I think like American Psycho would be up there.
Yeah.
Castaway.
But like, I
It's
think
real
those
good.
three movies though are a good cross section of what we want here. It's like one from each of our columns that's
Yeah.
like at the top for us.
Yeah, it's like when someone wanted The Matrix and didn't get it. I'm still not over. I'm still never gonna get it.
I
Just
understand.
Never
I
gonna
would
get it.
also
I'm
not be
never.
over
It's
that.
it still hurts to this day.
So
To
which
this
one
day.
from that bucket are we choosing? We said we're doing
Almost Famous, I think.
Almost
Right?
Famous.
Is that
Yes.
what you're
Yeah, that's
saying,
perfect.
Josh?
I would have
Yeah.
it
So
right there.
Almost Famous, Bamboozled, Yee Yee, Erin Brockovich, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's a good lineup.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's a very good lineup. No offense to Traffic. Josh loves that movie, but it's a great lineup.
I can't complain.
I can't complain about that either. Josh, where would you go? What would you give it to?
I think I have to say Bamboozled. Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that movie is just such like the commentary I just think is so rich and incredible. And yes, I understand why it is kind of a under-discussed Spike Lee movie, but I don't think it has any less relevance as we have talked about. I still think it is very pointed in its commentary, very sharp, and the more I have thought about it throughout the years, the more it just moves me. So yeah, I would do that one as my personal pick for Best Picture.
J-Dog.
Might just watch that tonight. Get the wife, sit my ass down and learn. You know, Bamboozled.
Do you
Really
think
good
the wife
movie.
would stay in the room and finish that?
No, absolutely not. The it's a great movie.
It's a wonderful.
I'm
movie.
going to abstain from voting for Yee Yee because I think that is not in the spirit of this exercise. And I will say Erin Brockovich is my pick. I think that movie is potent emotionally and just one of the most entertaining things that has ever been put on a screen and has incredible performances across the board. It's an impeccable movie. So
Hmm. This is tough. Because
you could also go with a third.
I could go with a third. I have power here. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with a third. I'm gonna go with my favorite film of the year, and I'm gonna go with Almost Famous. I think Brockovich is great. I love Bamboozled. Don't I'm gonna have to flip a coin now to figure out which is second. But yeah, Almost Famous is like one of those perfect movies for me. And I know that's kind of like a standard sort of film Twitter sort of movie, right, Josh? And I know it's not, not every, I know Josh is not the biggest fan. I know you like it, don't love it.
It's a good movie, just not
Yeah,
my favorite. That's
I
all.
got you. One of those formative movies, though. I think just early on in the 2000s, that just, um, it's when Crow had the magic. The movie speaks to an era of filmmaking and time period that I love. Impeccable performances. Again, just kind of one of those lightning in a bottle sort of movies. And I know
Great
it's
detail to it too, just because it's so
yeah,
personal,
so personal
so
to him,
specific.
very specific. Watched I think about 30 to 40 minutes of this movie recently. Was completely sucked in. Um,
Pretty
didn't
good
get
4K.
Yeah, it is a really good 4K. I have that sucker on the in the collection over there. And I just think this time period also too speaks to like really just when Crow was at his best and really was just speaking to how you can make an accessible film, but it also feels extremely independent and the performances are insane. And so, um, yeah, I love this one. So that would be my pick, and we're in an now
A
unprecedented
stalemate.
third three-way tiebreaker that we need to talk about our backups. So Jay, what would be your runner-up?
Can I just say it would rule if we gave Bamboozled Best Picture, just from the standpoint of what's the wildest thing we could choose, it
Yeah,
would be Bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
If I did have a runner-up, it would probably be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon
hmm Okay.
would be my two, and then probably
No, just two for now.
all right, just two. Crouching
Just two.
Tiger.
Josh.
My number two, I think, would be Erin Brockovich.
Okay. All right. Well, this is very interesting. My runner-up would be Bamboozled
Good grief.
All
because
right.
Jay.
So we're just going to do it mathematically and go with my next selection.
I guess so. Um.
My next one would be Almost Famous.
Okay. Josh.
Next for me would be Crouching Tiger.
My next would be Erin Brockovich. So it's getting real murky here.
I mean, yeah, we're in some
We're in
muddy
some murky
waters here.
territory.
That sounds to me like technically Brockovich would win if we just go straight down the line like that on the preferential ballot, but I don't know.
Jay, you did make the good case though. Here, Bamboozled would be an absolutely inspired win, and I kind of feel like we should give it to Bamboozled. Brockovich has the two acting wins.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
have the Kate Hudson win. We have
You're going to take that Aaron Brockovich Oscar away from Danny DeVito?
yeah. Why not Bamboozled? I'm not gonna not give a chance to have Spike have a Best Picture
Yeah, I
win.
mean, Bamboozled is a really cool pick. That's not like top tier Spike for me, but it is it has carved a space in my brain
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, it's also interesting to reward it in juxtaposition to Gladiator, which is so intentionally traditional and
Yeah, straightforward.
throwback in a way that is supposed to be almost insulated from any kind of current thinking or world events or anything like that. It's really just we're off in the past to reward this movie. And here you have Bamboozled, which is a movie that is so relevant and so of the moment.
Challenging.
I
Yeah.
do find it to be a really interesting
And then there's maybe an
juxtaposition.
argument
Not
that
just because it's
Brockovich
my
is sort of in the
preference.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then original
What the
screenplay,
hell? Give
Best
it to
Picture.
Bamboozled. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Original screenplay and Best Picture. That's usually how these things work, right, Josh?
Yeah. Probably could find some below the line thing to give it to at some point. Yeah.
Like
If we
editing.
wanted.
Bamboozled.
Yeah.
Editing. That
There you
movie
go.
is impeccably
Good for
edited.
us. And people say I'm not an ally. Unbelievable.
Our winners for the 73rd Academy Awards were adapted screenplay was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Original screenplay, Bamboozled. Best supporting actor, Albert Finney.
Who did not show up because he would never have shown up for
He would
that.
never show up.
That's why they stopped nominating him at a certain point.
He's just a big fish in a pond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Best supporting actress, Kate Hudson. Best actor, Tommy Hanks. Best actress, Julie Roberts. Best director, Ang Lee. And best picture, Bamboozled. What
We did it.
an absolutely great set of
Yeah.
winners that we got.
Was
Good
Roberts
job,
the
guys.
only Oscar winner that we did?
Let's look at that. Yes, the only crossover with the Oscars was Julia Roberts. Everybody else, we were.
It's wild. It's a good year. The nominees were pretty good.
They're pretty decent. Pretty decent year.
Except for Quills.
Yeah. On the Contender.
Yeah, and The Contender.
You're not a Contender guy.
The Contender is such an embarrassing movie.
Jay?
It's like what was the Sorkin show?
Oh,
What
the
was that one?
Newsroom?
Yeah, it's like it's got big newsroom energy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not
where it's
West
like
Wing energy.
looking back, you just like, ugh.
Is West Wing
Ugh.
like? Is that good? Like, or is it just a relic now?
I've never watched The West Wing.
I haven't seen
to
a
be
ton of
honest.
it. In my experience looking back on it, it is not to me as cringy as the Newsroom, but it does have that Sorkin idealism that just makes me roll my eyes a lot of the time.
Mm.
So, I guess it depends on your point of view.
Yeah. Jay,
Yes.
can you tell everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet, sir?
Yeah. Letterbox, J Ledbetter, Twitter at Mr. J Ledbetter. Listen to the podcast that I host with Ryan weekly, Director Watch, on this very podcast feed. Right now we're doing Mike Nichols.
Yes, we are.
So that's fun. And that's all.
That's all? That's it?
Yeah.
Nothing else? Okay, buddy. Josh, same stuff.
You can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at JR Parham, and you can also find all my work over at Next Best Picture and AwardsWatch.
You can find all my work here at awardswatch.com. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky at Ryan McQuade 77. If you like podcasts, like Jay mentioned, we are in the middle of our Mike Nichols movie series right now, first series of the year. Really excited for the episode this week. This week's episode will be Silkwood, and our guest this week will be Izzy from Be Kind Rewind. It was a wonderful episode.
Great guest. Yeah.
Great guest.
That
Wonderful
one was
episode. Had a wonderful time with that. Been having a great time so far doing this Nichols series with Jay, and can't wait to continue that as the year goes on. 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify. We greatly appreciate it. While you're over on the website, please sign up for the newsletter. It's a great way to get all the news, reviews, interviews, and all stuff in one place sent to you. Next week's show, we will do probably a little bit of an awards recap of just everything that happened this past weekend. We also are going to do an interesting topic in honor of the movie Love Hurts, which no one cares about. We're going to talk about the best and worst careers post-Oscar win, which it could be a lively discussion as well. Always interesting to see what people's projects were that they.
What is that movie?
Love Hurts is the Ki Kwan.
Oh, the
Ariana
like
DeBose
Valentine's Day action movie.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
really bad that nobody cares about, but it does lend to an interesting question that I think would be a fun topic for us to discuss.
Oh, here it
Next.
is. Ooh, the director doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Not good. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you all next time.